Well, welcome to the Positive Friday edition of the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province of Alberta. PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You'll get a free $50 wager. Tonight, the Lotto Max, $40 million. Not bad. Also, we have 2 Game 6s tonight in the NHL. Oiler fans probably will be watching some of it. Vancouver and Nashville, because Edmonton will take on the winner. Most likely, the Oilers are going to open up either at home against Nashville on Tuesday or on the road in Vancouver on Tuesday. There is a small chance that they could open up Sunday in Vancouver if the Canucks win tonight. I think the only chance that's even possible is if both series end tonight. So, and even then, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it is being discussed. So, you can plan that Sunday at the earliest, probably most likely Tuesday for round 2 for the Edmonton Oilers. We will have at least one Game 7. Who doesn't love Game 7s? It'll be the Leafs and the Bruins. My goodness. So you have a fan base that hasn't won a championship since 1967. They haven't beaten the Boston Bruins in a series since 1959. Now, they can't win the cup in round 1, but they could end their drought against Boston. Or will it just be another extending the agony for Leaf fans? Many of you thought the series was over after 4 games. Austin Matthews gets hurt. Doesn't play in Game 5. They win. Sits out Game 6. They win. Now, Game 7. Don't expect him to play. And we'll see what happens. Imagine if you're the boss. Like, the thing about the Boston Bruins I've noticed in this series, in the playoffs, that's where we're really noticing the lack of Bergeron and Krejci. Like Charlie Coyle, God love him. He did a good job, but Charlie Coyle's taking a ton of defensive zone faceoffs, and he's getting murdered in the faceoff circle. He's not Patrice Bergeron. He's not winning 65%. He's not Leon Draisaitl. I have an article up at OilersNation.com. Leon Draisaitl is the most unique superstar in the NHL. I'm sorry, it's not close. There's nobody out there. When you talk the elite top-end guys, McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, Draisaitl, Kucherov. Sorry, they don't have the package that Draisaitl has overall when it comes to goal scoring, when it comes to playmaking, point production. Then you throw in the fact of how many defensive zone faceoffs he takes, right? How many faceoffs he wins, right? Like, you look at it, it's not really close, right? He's very much a freak that way. And you look in the playoffs, his defensive zone starts to offensive zone starts compared to the other guys. Like, Austin Matthews has had 10. Now, he's played 4 games, but Draisaitl only played 5. Matthews, 40 offensive zone faceoffs, 10 in the defensive zone. It's pretty significant difference. Right? You look at even McDavid. McDavid's taken 17. Draisaitl, he takes a lot of defensive zone faceoffs. Why? Because he's good, and he can win it. He's good in the offensive zone. He's good in the defensive zone. Neutral zone, not as important faceoffs. He's not as dominant there. And he went up against Anze Kopitar. Those two are both top 5 in faceoff percentage, and they basically went head to head against each other. They had 47 faceoffs in the first round. Draisaitl won 24. Kopitar won 23. Draisaitl dominated him in Game 1. Kopitar dominated Draisaitl in Game 5 in the faceoff dot. And in between, Draisaitl, they're either even or Draisaitl won by 1 or 2. But Draisaitl against the other Kings centerman was like 64% in the dot. Same with Kopitar. They battled head to head. And so next round, now JT Miller's a good faceoff guy. And he'll probably get a lot of the matchups for Draisaitl. But I'm telling you, go read the article and you look out at the Leon Draisaitl. For me, he was the Oilers MVP in round 1 for everything he did offensively, defensively, key faceoffs, back checking, backtracking, stripping pucks, You name it. He did it all. I thought it was fantastic. And, they'll need it. And the great part about it, so Draisaitl played 75 minutes and 39 seconds, 5-on-5 in the opening round. You know how many minutes he played with McDavid? 8. For those who are like, oh, Draisaitl's only good because of McDavid. Like, it is the most moronic take I have ever heard. And trust me, I'm on Twitter. There's a lot of moronic takes. Okay? I've seen lots. That one is the biggest one. Oh, he's only good because of McDavid. What? No, he's not. Now, is McDavid the best player? Is he the most exciting player in the game? He is. But even McDavid doesn't do what Draisaitl does. He doesn't have the scoring prowess of as a finisher. Not on that level. And he's not as good in the draws. Doesn't take as many D-zone draws. Nor should he. Like, why would you do it? But the Oilers, to have those two running on separate lines, the only time they play together 5-on-5 is the first shift out of an Oilers penalty kill. Right? We've all seen it. And it makes sense to do it. Why wouldn't you? Because usually when they play together, got a pretty good chance they're going to produce something. Even in limited minutes. Like, basically, they're playing a minute and a half per game. Well, a minute 45. That's about it, right? A few times coming out of a power play. That's all at 5-on-5. So really impressive opening round for Draisaitl. Today on the show, man, we got lots to discuss on the show today. I'm looking forward to it. We will have Jesse Granger, the Golden Knights, the number one villain in the National Hockey League. The LTIR boys. Can they come back? Or is reality setting in? How they played for 4 months after 2 games where they really didn't play Dallas. They just won the first 2. Like, there's no way they should have won game 1. They did. But now they need to win 2 in a row. Lorianne Munzer will be by. We'll get to 2 minute more with Cam Tate. Of course, Shawn Brown is in as always. Ken LaCusta will join us today. Craig Button, Spec, Lowetide. We also have a cool package. Somebody, by the way. We got some giveaways on a Positive Friday. Do you like to laugh? You need some good humor in your life? Well, 2 of the funniest gents around, Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr, are coming to Edmonton September 8th. You don't have to worry. There's no playoffs. No chance they reschedule that date. So September 8th. And we have some sweet seats to give away today if you're in need of a good laugh on a Positive Friday. So stay tuned for that. Also, we will have our 15th entry into Here Comes the Sun for Action Electrical. $15,000 solar system. Installed everything on your home, or you can gift it to someone. It's a pretty nice gift. Because it's the gift that keeps on giving, baby. Not only do you save them the whole installation, but then think about how much money you're going to save on your bills moving forward. And, hey, I'm living it. You're living it. We all know what inflation's like right now. So that's a huge, huge package from Action Electro. I love it. Also today on Positive Friday. Now this, I always like guys who think ahead. So Jason from Fitted Golf Company, he approached me a few weeks ago with an idea on what they wanted to do. He wanted to tie it in after the Oilers win because they sent the Kings golfing. Right? Everybody knows now, hey, their season's done. Usually don't get on the ice for a few weeks. They'll be golfing. Maybe with tears, maybe with not, but either way, they'll be golfing. So today, we have a very unique package from Fitted Golf Company. Now, they are very different when it comes to fitting your golf clubs. All right? They're a golf science company. They have a design engineer, a shaft engineer, a professor of biomechanics. Right? They've been trained in the UK and the US. They do research on how to improve golf tech works to optimize the capability of every swing type. So they're not working off some formula that the manufacturer told them to use. All right? So it's pretty in-depth. They have over 1,500 shaft profiles, 850 driver configurations. You can actually watch your driver. It's going to get built right from scratch for you. You're going to go through a 2-hour fitting test. It's no joke. 2-hour fitting test, and you get the driver. So whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediate, whether you're an expert, you want your golf game, you want to maximize your potential off the tee? Well, that's what we'll do today. We'll auction this off for charity, and I can tell you what the retail value is on one of these with the whole package. The driver. Now, everybody, driver going to the golf store right now. It's a good driver going for. Well, depends what you want. You can go $400. You can go up to $1,000. All depends. So this is going to be your own. Everything is fit. The shaft, the head, the grip, everything. 2-hour fitting's no joke. So if you want in on that, 833-401-1440. And he wanted to team up with Gregor's guys because he told me the story about what intrigued him about the idea was he had moved to Edmonton in high school and was not, he says it was very challenging at that time, moving into a different high school. And unfortunately, you know what? Didn't have the capabilities of going to grad with a suit that looked good. And so he wants to support the kids who can have that opportunity that he didn't. So that's pretty sweet. So you're going to get a great club and a great fitting. It's right here in Edmonton. So plan when you go fitting, though. It's 2 hours. So I want to tell everybody that up front. This is not just a little one you stand there, let's swing a few heads. No. They got a lot of science backing it up. So 833-401-1440. Just put your name on it. Tanner opens it up at $500, and we are off and running. Now, we got a lot of text to get to. 833-401-1440. The con man is here. Also, do you see the LA Lakers? Is there an organization that just seems to have no direction? So remember when Frank Vogel won the championship? And then the next year they didn't win, so he got fired? Right? They just won, Cons, the inaugural in-season championship. And only 4 months later, they fire their coach. This is the guy who they went to the Western Conference Final and lost to a Denver team. Now they lost to Denver again. Okay, so they can't beat Denver. But Denver's really good. Like, what are they looking for here?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess the midseason tournament doesn't have too much prestige, not enough to keep you around. But, I mean, you look at what they did have. Phil Jackson was one of the most smooth, clean operating head coaches, kept them around for a long time, had a 15-year run, then a 6 or 7 year run. But then since then, the longest tenured coach has been 3 years, I believe. 3-4 seasons, Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, Byron Scott. They just can't seem to get it right. I think part of it, the last couple of years, has to be put at that guy who's commanding all the money and the big time, the face of the franchise, LeBron James. He's got a say in who they hire, and it's not working. They got that championship. You're right. How you move on so quickly from a guy who helped get you to that championship, I'm sure there'll be questions. And I do believe that was in the bubble or whatever they call it for the NBA. So some people will still say asterisks on that one. But yeah, an absolute mess. Darvin Ham is, what are you supposed to do? The Denver Nuggets are, I'll say, I think favorite to go back to back here.
Of course.
You got Jamal Murray and Joker playing great, a whole lot of great role players around them. It seems kind of like a knee-jerk move. And then if you were to have a new coach and say LeBron stays, I do believe that will be his 4th coach since then. Like it's kind of a mess. Not something I think the prestigious Lakers are quite used to.
And here's the thing. Like, the Lakers were close. I know the series was 4-1. Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater, and then he hit the other game winner with 3.6 seconds left. So it wasn't like they weren't in the series against a really good team, but Joker and Murray are younger. And that's a fact. Right now, I know LeBron James is, it's like the ageless guy. He's very consistent. There's no arguing that. Can't debate it. Like, the numbers don't lie. But, and hey, it wasn't the coach who opted to bring in Russ Westbrook a few years ago. Remember that unmitigated disaster of a sign? It didn't work out. But yeah, I'm just, right now it seems odd. Like, there's talk if Boston loses, they might have to fire Jim Montgomery. And I'm like, what? Was it Jim Montgomery? Now, hey, they didn't win last year in the playoffs, but that happens. Is it his? And nobody thought they were going to be that good this year. He got them all the way to the playoffs again. Now, they don't have Bergeron. They don't have Krejci. They didn't really replace him. They said, hey, Charlie Coyle, God love you. Now, Charlie Coyle, I think at best, is a number 2 center. He might be an elite number 3. I'd probably say, okay, he's a number 2. So you can only get so much out of what you have. Right? Anybody ever squeeze an orange? How much juice you getting out of it? Hey, buddy, I want a cup full of orange juice. I'm giving you 1 orange. What? You didn't get a full cup? You're fired. Oh, come on. It's weird a little bit in pro sports. Like, look at the NHL. Carberry hasn't even been on the job for a year, and he's already the 16th longest tenured head coach in the NHL. And, like, Sheldon Keefe, now he's been there since 2019. If they don't win Game 7, and even if they, if they win Game 7 but then get blown up by Florida, he might be gone anyway. There's, like, who knows what's happening with Broness, although that might be more of his own decision. in Winnipeg. And like if Boston loses, are they actually going to consider Montgomery? There's talk, and now, hey, stop me if you've heard this before, Cons, but I was talking with Frank Cervelli on our podcast, and how right now there seems to be a power struggle in Pittsburgh between the coach and the GM. Huh. Now, who was involved in a power struggle in Toronto? Let me think. KD. Oh, it's the same guy. Same guy. So we'll see. But man, if Sullivan leaves, be a lot of teams lining up for his services. No question. But it might be one of the least stable occupations going right now is a head coach in professional sports. Now, I get that you get paid a lot of money. I understand that, but that doesn't, I get paid a lot. That doesn't change the fact that you can do a pretty good job and still get fired. Right? Because they don't have to fire you without cause because they pay you out. Right? Like most of you, if you've ever been fired from a job, you had to have cause. Right? Well, unless you're on probation, right? And just starting. But it's like, well, he's done an okay job, but you know what? No, I don't really like him. He's out. Imagine that. Like it's great that they get paid. It's awesome, but it is one where right now you're coaching and you're just like, God, if we don't win a championship, I might not be able to stay here. It's crazy.
Oh, look at the Bucks as well. Doc Rivers. I know injuries didn't help in the playoffs.
I never understood that, and he didn't make them any better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it can happen at the drop of a hat. So quick it can happen. And like I said, the injuries were there for the Bucks. Giannis and Dame had some injuries in the playoffs, but kind of a weird one when it happened.
Hey, boys, I think the biggest problem with the Bruins is that Pasternak isn't the best player on the ice every night for them when he should be. Can't expect to win games. You can barely score 2 goals from JT. Well, it has been a very low-scoring series. Toronto has managed to win the last 2 games by scoring only 2 goals, granted 2-1 each time. It is rare. Like the Maple Leafs have scored more than 2 goals in one of their last 13 playoff games. Once. But that happened in game 2 this series. And then their other 2 wins, 2-1. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. It's game 7, baby. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you cheer for. Most people watch a game 7. I've watched game 7s in baseball with 2 teams I give 2 you-know-what's about. But I'll watch game 7. And I'll be watching game 7 tomorrow. Obviously a little bit more intently than I normally would. So it'll be a lot of fun. Hey, Gregor, you're bang on about Draisaitl. I remember there was a point last year in the Vegas series where a lot of Toronto media guys were talking as though Leon was the greatest all-around hockey player. But then the Oilers stumbled. If he keeps doing this for the playoffs, he'll be regarded as one of the greats already. Craig, well, you look at Leon Draisaitl's career today. Leon Draisaitl he could pull a Barry Sanders and retire in the summer and he'd still be a Hall of Famer. You just look at all his numbers to this point in his career. No question. He'd be a Hall of Famer. Quick break. When we return, LTIR. Are the benefits coming to an end? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at PlayAlberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Bon-Ton Bakery has been baking bread since 1956, but also offers a whole store of delicious local and specialty foods today. So we're not just your daily bread source. Bon-Ton has treats for your friends and workmates, cakes for those special occasions, monthly features so you can try something new each time you visit, including many healthy options. There's something for everyone. Bon-Ton Bakery, open 9 to 5, Tuesday to Saturday, online at bonton.ca.
You adore your Audi, value your Volkswagen, baby your Beamer. But some of that love fades when repairs take several days and tons of cash for the dealership to do their magic. Let Cochran's Automotive rekindle the flame. They'll professionally repair your import, usually in one day. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Honda, and Toyota. Cochran's Automotive will return her to mint condition. Open at 7 a.m. Let Cochran's Automotive repair your automotive air conditioning before things heat up. Cochran's Automotive, 780-452-5001.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Basketball fans, Pulsar is now on the Sports 1440 team. Saturdays from 10 to noon, the basketball show covers the game at all levels, including our thriving local scene here in Yegg. Tune in this weekend on Sports 1440.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XC60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Roger Weir at Weir Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weir Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
And I'm Zach Hyman.
And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes,
or having my goals disallowed,
we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You know, guys used to call me a plumber.
And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The absolute final deadline in Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery is midnight tonight. This is your last chance to get in to win the $2.6 million grand prize. A custom-built show home by Burkholtz Homes located in Aspen Gardens. 4,200 square feet of luxury plus $100,000 cash. And you can't miss the 50-50. It's life-changing. Absolute final deadline midnight tonight. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
It's officially spring, but when the snow melts, the grass will grow. You'll find a wide selection of Echo spring cleanup equipment at the Lawnmower Hospital. From grass trimmers and chainsaws to log splitters and multi-tool systems, all backed by Echo's outstanding 5-year consumer warranty. Make spring yard care a breeze with Echo and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
Positive Friday continues on. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. Tanner was in at $500. Now Mike is in at $600 on our package today, which is this is really cool, man. It's the first time I've ever done this. You're going to get from start to finish. You're going to get your own driver design specifically for you from the Fitted Golf Company. They have over 850 driver configurations. So you're talking head, you're talking loft, you're talking length, shaft, everything. And it's not like you pull one and it's like, okay, we'll just fit this and we'll change the, the head angle, or maybe we'll change the grip. No. Everything starts right from scratch. You can watch it. It's a 2-hour fitting though, just so you know, like it's no joke. It is they're really the first of its kind here in our city. They're a golf science company, and Mike has it now at 600 bones. And so you're going to love it. It'd be awesome. So 833-401-1440. It doesn't matter your level of golfer. If you're beginner, intermediate, or expert, they fit it to what works best for you. And sometimes for the early golfers, if you get a better fitted club early, you're going to have more chance of maximizing what your abilities are as a golfer. So keep that in mind. 833-401-1440. Now, Oilers are off today. They're off tomorrow. And maybe slight chance that they play on Sunday, but most realistically, it looks like they'll start Tuesday, either at home against Nashville or on the road in Vancouver. As we go in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, heavy haul transport provider, proud partner and part of the MyShack group of companies, nextgentransportation.com. Beat reporter for The Athletic for the Vegas Golden Knights as they are facing elimination for the first time in a while. Jesse Granger joins us. Jesse, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I got to ask you, how concerning is it, the kind of like the lack of discipline from Alex Pietrangelo in some key moments lately?
Yeah, it obviously cost him the last two games. It's tough because Alex Pietrangelo is a fiery guy, and it's why he is as great of a hockey player as he is. The guy's won 2 cups. He's won an Olympic gold medal. He's done everything that there is to do in this sport, and he's been a number one defenseman for all of it. He is a incredible hockey player that is good. To me, he's the most competitive person I've ever been around covering hockey. Like in a sport where everyone that makes it this far is so competitive, he stands out. And I do think it gets the better of him in big moments when he's frustrated. It obviously did last year when he slashed Leon Draisaitl. It did in Game 4 against Dallas, where he cross-checked Rupe Hintz away from the play, and that gave Dallas the power play that ended up tying the game. They scored on the next shift to take the lead, and that was it. And then it happened again in Game 5 in Dallas, where he kind of gave Tyler Seguin a backhand. It's tough because you don't want that emotion to be completely gone. It's what makes him such a good player, but he also has to keep it in check. He spoke with us today. He did say, I've got to do a better job of keeping my emotions in check. And he deserves the criticism for that play. It did cost his team, but I will say Bruce Cassidy made a good point today saying, like, how many penalties has that guy killed for his teammates after they took a bad penalty over the last however many years? It's a bunch of them. They needed to kill the penalty. Yes, Pietrangelo needs to have better discipline, but also they could have killed the penalty and then they wouldn't have lost.
Lack of offense, I would say, is probably a big reason. It's hard to win games in the playoffs when you score 2 goals. And in their 3 losses here in a row, it's 2 goals, 2 goals, and 2 goals. They scored 4 in the opening game on only 15 shots. When Jake got, they have 4 goals, I think, on the first 9 shots of the game. So, you look at the offense, Jesse, of the Golden Knights now I know he made the huge breakaway save with what it was like 2.5 minutes left, but is this lack of goals on Ottinger or is it on the Vegas offense?
I think it's on the Vegas offense, and particularly at even strength, because they've actually been better on the power play than they're used to. The power play is actually giving them. It gave them 2 goals in Game 1. The games they have played offensively well, it's been on the power play. At 5-on-5, this is a team, the Golden Knights, that absolutely destroyed every team they played last year in the playoffs at 5-on-5. Every round, it was like, even the Oilers, they probably gave them their best run, and that was all just on the power play. Special teams. Vegas was elite at 5-on-5 last year. That hasn't been the case at all in this series. To me, Dallas has been by far the superior team at even strength, and Vegas hasn't generated much. I do think Ottinger has played a role because I think early in the series he was playing very poorly. And that was the reason the Golden Knights were in the series. I think if Ottinger had played at a high level from the beginning, the series would probably be over because the Golden Knights haven't been able to generate the volume to beat him unless he's having a bad game. So he has played better lately, and you've seen the series has swung in Dallas' favor. I think you look at the Golden Knights' top players offensively. Jack Eichel has been excellent in this series, but outside of him, Mark Stone, Tomas Hertl, Jonathan Marchessault, William Karlsson, they're all coming off of injuries. They all look like they're coming off of injuries. They don't look themselves. They don't look at their peak performance. They look a little slow, not just in their skating, but just the timing seems off. Their top offensive players have not been good outside of Jack Eichel.
Yeah, and very fair. They've got 3 5-on-5 goals in the last 3 games. It's hard to win that way. And you mentioned slow because I watched Vegas, and the one thing when I saw them this year, because this is not like for 4 months, Jesse, they haven't been great. right? If you look at their numbers, they were a middling team for a long period of time after an unreal start. And I just look at them, and when I watch them and watching this Dallas series, not that Dallas has a bunch of burners, but Vegas does look slower. And so are they banged up, or is it just, has that been somewhere where they haven't gone up to speed all year long?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of multiple things. I think so. Like Hurdle's coming off of a knee surgery. He's on a new team. He's trying to find his game in a time of the season where that doesn't really happen. It's very difficult. Same with Mark Stone coming off his surgery. William Karlsson hasn't been practicing much because he's dealing with something. He hasn't been taking face-offs like he normally does. So They haven't flat out said he's injured, but he's clearly dealing with something. So I think that plays a factor. I also think just the age of this team and the fact that they've played a ton of hockey, right? Like this team goes on deep run after deep run after deep run. Eventually it catches up to you. You saw it with Tampa. We're seeing it with the Golden Knights. I think that plays a factor too. And then also, like, Dallas deserves credit. That's a great team. And you look at the top players, the players that are really carrying the Stars. It's not the veterans. It isn't Pavelski and Ben and Sagan. It's the youngsters, Wyatt Johnson and Logan Stankoven. Like, they've got some 20-year-olds over there that are taking over this series. So I think it's a combination of all those things for Vegas. Having said that, it looks bleak. They haven't played well for 3 games, but these are incredibly talented players. And Bruce Cassidy said today, like, he brought up Jonathan Marchessault led the playoffs in goals last year. When did he score his first goal? On the 8th playoff game, halfway through the second round. So sometimes you just need, you have a hard time clicking, and then suddenly it clicks and you go. And they're hoping that happens now, but they need something to change drastically, because to me, Dallas has been the better team.
Looking at this Dallas Stars team, what's impressed you most about them, especially maybe the last 3 games, but even the whole series?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it there, but to me, it's the youngsters. Like, you think of the Stars, you think of a veteran, deep forward group that they've got veterans all over the place, but they haven't done a whole lot. It's been the youngsters. Wyatt Johnston, to me, has cemented himself as one of the best young players in the entire league. Like, I thought highly of him coming into this series. He is so good, and he's got the swagger to him. He goes to the tough areas, even though he's not the biggest guy. He's going against one of the biggest defensive groups in the league with a bunch of tall trees around him, and he goes in there and he finds the puck and he scores. I have been really impressed by Wyatt Johnson and Stankoven. And Dallas, I mean, they just pressure really well. The forecheck is good. They play fast. They pressure you, and when you make mistakes, they have the skill in transition to really make you pay with Robertson and guys like that. So, yeah, I mean, the Stars are as advertised as the top seed in the West.
Yeah, no, they're good and they're deep. Right. And they got some good young players. I like their back end. It's very mobile. So you look at Vegas and, looking ahead, regardless if they come back and win the series or not, Jonathan Marchessault done in Vegas because they acquired Thomas Hertl. Like, where do they have money to fit him in?
Yeah, I mean, the money was already tight, and then they gave Hannafin an 8-year extension. So there isn't a lot of money to go around. But as we've seen with this front office, that does not mean that they aren't going to be able to sign guys. They will trade players to open up cap space. So I think if they think the team is better with Jonathan Marchessault, they will make the necessary trades to make that happen. Now, do they believe that? Jonathan Marchessault is getting old. He is coming off of a 42-goal season, his best year as a Golden Knight. He is a little older. I think he's probably going to want a little more term than maybe the team is willing to give him. So it's going to come down to, are they willing to give him that 4th year or not? And is Marchessault willing to take a shorter deal? Because he clearly wants to stay in Vegas. He loves it here. His family loves it here. He wants to retire here. So it's going to be interesting to see. And then if they do decide they want to keep Marchessault, who are they going to trade to make room? They've got quite a few guys that make right around that $5 million mark. So it's going to be a really interesting offseason, because Marchessault is obviously the big name. Alec Martinez is another UFA. He's probably on the way out just based on his age, and he's been a healthy scratch at times this year. But you also have William Carrier, who's been a big part of this team. He drives that 4th line. He's a UFA. Michael Amadio, not a centerpiece player, but he's been a very important player for them the last couple of years. There are plenty of big decisions this team's going to have to make in the offseason. And last summer, after winning the Cup, they basically just ran it back. Same exact roster. Let's do it again. That's probably not going to happen this summer, regardless of what happens in these playoffs. I think you're going to see a different Vegas team.
And lastly, what about goaltending tonight? Is it Adin Hill?
It is. It is Adin Hill in net. It's probably surprised some people just based off the way Logan Thompson played the first 4 games, and Adin Hill he looked a little off in his game. I don't think he cost them game 5. I don't think he was the reason they lost, but he just didn't look, he just looked a little behind the play a little bit at times, like a guy that hadn't played in 2 weeks and was jumping into playoff hockey. So yeah, he's playing tonight. Bruce Cassidy clearly trusts him. He obviously won a cup with him last year. I think Bruce Cassidy thinks that when Adin Hill's at his best, he's his best goalie. I don't disagree there. But we haven't seen Adin Hill look his best in a really long time since the injury. So we'll see how he plays tonight. It's obviously a big decision. Cassidy's going with the guy with a little more playoff experience.
Great stuff, Jesse. We appreciate it. Enjoy the games. And, hey, maybe we'll get another Game 7. Big fan of it. Hopefully it happens.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
There you go. That's Jesse Granger from The Athletic. In Vegas, they have Game 6 tonight. A victory by Vegas would then force Game 7 Sunday in Dallas. We got Cam Tate coming up, Lorianne Munzer, and more on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Your business is unique. It has its own challenges and its own risks. Does your commercial insurance reflect that? At High Street Insurance, we believe in a personalized approach. As an independent broker, we take the time to create a partnership with you. We get to know your business and ensure that your insurance coverage is specifically designed to protect what matters to you. Insurance that's dependable, transparent, and tailored to suit your unique needs. Good protection starts with understanding you. Reach out to us today at highstreetinsurance.com.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Mr. Rooter makes a prank phone call.
It's ringing.
Hello?
Hello there. Is your faucet running?
Yeah, actually it is. I have this really annoying drip.
Oh, you'll want to check for mineral buildup or corrosion. Otherwise, it's likely an effective gasket
disappointed
or
today in the
O-ring.
scrap.
I got him good.
Cam's disappointed today in the scratching bald head.
Immaculate
Hang on.
water line. Trust one plumber.
Means this stuff.
Mr. Rooter.
From bench to
Up
bench,
against the wall and
sport
hopes
to
it's-
sport, Elite Promotional Marketing will help take your teamwear to the next level with a wide selection of uniforms, apparel,
Stick.
and promotional products. So
we
when you
could
want your
fall in
team to
hopes it
look
sticks.
elite, head to Elite Promo Marketing.
We
.243, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. It is Positive Friday, and hey, good start. Mikey has it at 600 Bones, our unique package today. We'll tell you what that is in a sec. But first, let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling Home. The no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit or your furnace. Even better, you can bundle them both and save even more. LegacyHeating.ca.
Cam's disappointed today and is scratching bald head. Hang on. We could throw up all kinds of stuff against the wall in hopes it sticks. It won't. We could say the reason Chris Knoblauch wasn't a finalist for the Jack Adams Award for the NHL Coach of the Year award. We could say that it only makes sense. Because, hey, Knoblauch didn't coach every game this season. Every game in the NHL season. Every game. All 82 of them. After all, it's written somewhere. And whenever something is written about the Jack Adams Award, wherever it is, we need to not only stand up, we salute it. Listen, our Rick Bonus of the Winnipeg Jets and Rick Tocchet from the Vancouver Canucks have been nominated. Chances are NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is already having chest pains with not one but two to their grandpa, Canadian coaches from Canada. Bettman could experience a mild heart attack if a Canadian coach won the Coach of the Year. Oh my goodness. We can't have that, can we? Forget the free trade agreement. Bettman hasn't presented the Stanley Cup on Canadian soil since sitting in HS Commissioner chair in New York City. So to present the award with perhaps a packet of maple syrup would never, ever be on Bettman's agenda. Give me another break. Knoblauch has taken a lowly Oilers club in November, who was unquestionably the biggest story in hockey because of their disappointing start to the second round of the second round playoffs in 5 games. 5 games? And what about the 16-game winning streak? And what about almost setting a new league record for undefeated consecutive games? And Knoblauch isn't on the Coach of the Year ticket. Give me a break. This is absolutely and fundamentally wrong. Now, Knoblauch is a humble man. He won't comment on this. But should the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, which is highly possible, Bettman will present it to the Oilers. And if he doesn't shake Knoblauch's hand and buys him a beer, give me a break. 2-minute warning Monday, Friday, Sports 1440.
Cam Tate, pretty fired up about it. Yeah, you know what? I could see how people would say, hey, Knoblauch could be deserving of being a finalist. You look at what Burnett did in Nashville. Pretty solid. Obviously down the stretch in the second half, they were great. Tocchet in Vancouver. Although, Vancouver, if you look at their numbers from when Knoblauch took over, he was way better. I know my only beef about the Jack Adams is the award is always based on, well, who's the coach of a team that we didn't think was going to be good, and then they were good, so that means they must have had great coaching. That's pretty much what it comes down to. John Cooper, elite coach. And just because you have good players doesn't mean it's just magically easier to coach all the time, especially when you're doing it for a long time. So that's my only beef. I think it's a hard one to always, accurately depict what their input has been as a coach. Right? But if you look at Rick Tocchet's, and that's why I picked Vancouver to make the playoffs. Go look at their last 30 games last year. They were a top 5 team in the league once Tocchet kind of got his fingerprints on the team. So to me, it wasn't a shot. I picked Vancouver to make the playoffs. Now, I picked them to finish second, not first. I thought the Oilers would finish first. So, but I'm not shocked that they're in. But he did a really good job, and if he wins, no problem. Right? Rick Bonus in Winnipeg, they had the best defensive numbers all year long. I know what happened in the first round of the playoffs. They got absolutely crushed. But he did a pretty good job. I think he's dealing with some health issues during the season, so that probably enhanced it. But clearly, there's a West Coast bias, right? Maybe we should start pumping that out to all those, everybody's, East Coast bias in voting. No, there isn't. The West teams actually do quite well, just so you know. Now, this one isn't voted on by the writers, by the way, in case you're wondering. But either way, I think Rick Tocchet, even if Knoblauch was in, and I think he could get consideration. But even if he's in, I think it was going to be Rick Tocchet either way. So we'll see. Anyway, let's go to our regular Friday guest now. Olympic gold medalist. She is also a mental coach. Lorianne Munzer joins us in studio. Lorianne, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yes. Obviously you competed. It's coming up. It's 20 years this summer, is it not?
Yeah, it'll be 20 years, August 24th. Not that I'm counting.
August 20 years since when you won your first gold medal. Pretty impressive. And so you know a thing or two about having to be like, when you're in a gold medal, it's like a game 7. It's just a lot quicker. So, and it's like, okay, we got to be on. You got to be ready to go. I've always said the Olympics is one of the hardest things because you train for 4 years and some people get sick and maybe, some people in cycling, maybe you get a flat tire at the wrong time and you're done. And now you got to wait 4 full years. I know there's world championships, but it's not the same. I look at the game 7 and everybody loves game 7s, right? Players love, everybody wants to play in it because it's the pinnacle of that series. And it's like, now it's do or die for both teams and winner moves on, loser goes home. And there's jubilation and devastation all wrapped in one. The Boston-Toronto series is intriguing to me. So Boston last year, best record ever, lost. They had a 3-1 series lead. They lost 3 straight, including blowing a 3-1 lead in game 7. Toronto hasn't beaten the Bruins since 1959. They haven't won a game 7. William Nylander, even because someone asked him about game 7, he goes, well, we've never really won one. So how do you think the psyche is of the athletes? Because I know you've talked about, hey, calm your breathing down, focus it like it's another game. But you can talk yourself to blue in the face. I'm sure when you raced in the Olympic gold medal, you weren't like, this is just another race. Like, it felt different.
I was doing both, actually. I was sitting having chicken and rice because that's what I had, chicken and rice for dinner, chicken and rice for lunch, chicken and rice for breakfast. And it was like, oh, it's just another race. And then it's like, oh my God, it's like, this is like the pinnacle.
Yes.
This is the most important.
It's impossible not to, I would think.
It is. Yeah. And what you have to do is you literally have to grab the reins and control of your nerves. And when it goes, oh my God, like this is do or die. What am I going to do? Sometimes literally, Jason, you have to pinch yourself to pull you back into the present moment of what am I going to do now? And that is probably what, the Bruins are doing, the Leafs are doing, everybody in whatever game they're playing, because everybody wants to get to the next game. They want to get to the finals. And you've just got to rein it in. You've got to be thinking about what will I be doing? Not what's happened. And if that crops up, because we call that a paradigm. Paradigm is how you're wired. And typically we go more towards the negative than the positive. And it's like, okay, if the negative shows up going, oh, we lost the last game, what are we going to do? You have to reframe it and rethink of what can we do? What can I do to contribute? Because together as a team, if the team is not playing as a team, you're sunk.
Yeah.
And you can see it. And there's an energy, Jason, that we say as cyclists, you can feel it as soon as you go up to the line. You can see it as soon as the guys come onto the ice or the gals come onto the ice with the PWHL. And it's like, there's an energy, there's a stance, and there's an attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know it. And sometimes you're just looking across at the guy going, and you're sunk. And then you look at it, go, you're mine. I'm going to eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm going to spit you out.
Like when you raced, did you know certain people in crunch time that maybe weren't able to elevate in the moment? Like, did you learn that as an athlete?
Absolutely. But a lot of it comes from creating the awareness of not only yourself as the athlete in the game, in the heat, in the race, but also analyzing the other athletes around. And it was analyzing for me, there was 22 women leading up to the World Championships. Only 12 would go through and compete at the Olympics. And then they brought in a few extras like from South America that qualified through other games. And those who have it and those who they're going to crump. They're literally going to crump. And you have to work to your strengths of going, what am I going to do to counter their move? Even if it's Connor McDavid, if it's Leon Draisaitl, it doesn't matter. Corey Perry, we've got so many of the other guys that are coming together. Look at Boom Boom Bouchard, right?
Yeah.
It's being in the right place and it's taking your strengths. It's not working on your weaknesses. It's bringing what do you do well to the stage. And literally, this is the world stage. Everybody's watching.
Yeah, no, and it is a big deal. Like game 7 for any hockey player, right? Just like a cyclist gold medal, that's the thing. For hockey players, like obviously you want to win the cup, but in order to win the cup, you might have to win a game 7 to get there. And game 7, whether it's in junior A, major, junior, whatever league you play in, there's more excitement in the crowd. There's more excitement in the room. There just is, right? And
the
so
energy.
yeah. And like when I look at the mindset of an athlete in the moment, like Boston gagged on it last year, Toronto's done it multiple times. If one, like that first goal in the game, naturally, if you look at the statistics, the team who scores first has a big advantage historically.
They
Always
do.
does. In game sevens, I was looking at it before. In game seven, it's even higher. And I just wonder if it becomes such an emotional letdown when you get behind early in a game seven.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like all the wind gets taken out of your sails or the balloon just goes even quicker. And you've got to mentally reframe it in a fraction of a second. You don't have time to go, oh, this is just awful. Oh, boy. Right? You can't play Eeyore. You've got to literally reframe it. And all of the games, whether the guys are aware of it or not, that's what they're doing. And the better you get at quickly reframing it, you can deal with it. You can parking lot it for later. That's okay. But what are you going to do in the heat of the moment? Because sometimes you literally have a second or you have less than a second to fix your head and get going, get back in the game again. And it's got to become second nature. At this level, everybody, like we've talked before, is pretty much physically at the same level, but it's the mental tenacity. What are you going to do? Are you driving it or are you following somebody? And if you're not leading it, you are in trouble.
Lorianne Munzer joins us. So I know you've worked with lots of professional athletes over the years. Do you see the difference from, do you watch video of them before and then you meet with them and, you do some mental training and stuff. And then a year later, like I assume it now, maybe for some, it's like, oh, boom, they get it right away. And others, they need to be the constant reminder of it. Like what are some of the things you notice that are the difference that allows them a better chance to be successful at the key moments?
To become really successful is I get my athletes to create a new self-image, because that's what it is like if you're going to the NHL and you're coming up from like the farm team, you have to talk, walk, act different because you have to elevate your game literally, right? You can't play the same kind of game. Maybe you've been playing at a really high level, but you're like, I equated it here is you're like a big fish in the lake. Yeah. And then you go and you play worldwide, you become the little goldfish in the ocean. Yeah. And it's a whole other set of rules. It's a whole new level. And you have to flip your head to it. And part and parcel of what that is how do you see yourself? And we have two images as human beings. We have the image we hold on the inside, and we have the image we show the world. Like, hey, right. Great, I'm a great poker player. And inside you're just like, oh, if everybody knew what I was thinking.
Yeah. But some people, it's funny, there's lots of athletes, lots of musicians, some people that are very successful that said, I had a lot of self-doubt, but when the lights came on, that went away for a bit. And then the lights would turn down and the self-doubt crept back in. Right. Yeah. And so you don't have to be necessarily, because there's obviously some people that prove it, you don't have to not have self-doubt to still have success. You just have to find a way to block it out at the key moment.
It's not necessarily blocking it out, because when you were just talking about that a little earlier, I was seeing the yo-yo, and it is so hard on your central nervous system, your brain, and also your emotions when it's up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot easier to wear one hat and make a decision of who are you? Are you going to bring out all of you to the table, or are you going to be two people, one around friends, one around this group? And it just gets way too complicated.
Yeah.
And it's just, look, decide who you want to be. Bring that guy, bring that gal out and be that person all the time. And then the biggest change that I see is, okay, they get this idea of who they want to be. And some areas are going to be more hesitant to bring that out because, well, I've never done that before. How are my friends going to react? How are my family going to react? How are my teammates going to react? And when you start bringing you to the table consistently, you're not going back to the old ways. You still got to work at it so that those habits don't pull you down, but that you can actually excel and go, hey, I actually am good at this. The self-esteem comes up, the self-worth comes up, and guess what? The confidence comes up. And when you start doing that, you have that consistency, and it's being consistently consistent in little ways that will actually move you into the new ranks and the new levels.
Consistently consistent, which I'm guessing is not that easy to find. But at a game 7, because, you've built up and, momentum. Some people believe in momentum carries over, other people don't. And I think you could find an argument. You could probably write a thesis both ways and find enough statistical data to prove that it might not.
Yeah, but you got to catch the momentum. because it takes a while to build it. Once you've got to build it, you got to keep it moving, and that's the energy system.
Yes.
And are you moving in that direction, or are you moving away from that direction? It's one or the other. And you can only hold one of those thoughts in your mind. You can never hold two opposing thoughts. Otherwise, it's just like, well, what do I do? I don't know. What do I do? It's like the angel and the devil sitting on your shoulder. Make a decision. Either suck it up, go sit on the sidelines, or jump in and get in the game.
Yeah. Like you look at Toronto, I think Toronto has the momentum when the game starts, but if Boston scores early, all of a sudden it's gone. So it's up to Toronto to maintain. The longer Toronto goes without a goal in the game or not trailing, I think their confidence stays the same, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas in Boston is one, they haven't scored a lot lately. So they're just like, now, hey, maybe if we get the first goal, we have a chance. It's funny.
But then it's not maybe. Yeah. It's like, decide you're going to do the first goal. Get it done and over with. And then boom, then you can focus on, let's add one more. Plus one, plus one, plus one. Take every opportunity versus going, well, maybe.
Easier said than done, though, when the opposition has, like, because you can generate 2-on-1s, you can generate, but what if the goalie makes spectacular saves?
This is what these guys are paid to do. This is all they have to do. I had to go to work Monday to Friday, 8 till 4. I wished I could have spent some more time training and racing and doing some mental preparation. But I also know that, okay, this is the way it is. Those guys, that's all they have to do, the hockey players. Like, just go.
So you're saying there's less excuse to not be focused.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
makes sense. Yeah.
It's just bring it up the game level.
When you watch, like, do you find, are certain sports, do you think more mental? Like, is it, I would assume, and maybe I'm wrong, I would think an individual sport would be harder mentally, because in a team sport, you can do everything right. Joe or Sarah might make the mistake, and now you're down 1-0. You're like, well, God, we didn't do, like, I know you're part of the team. So is it harder, or maybe it's harder because you're like, God, I've done everything right, and we're still losing, right? Do you find that team sport or individual sport, is it just different, not necessarily harder?
They're both
when it
different.
comes to mental?
Yep, they're both different, but they're both like over the top, because individually, holy cow, man, the spotlight is right on you. That's it. That's all. Don't mess up, because you don't have a whole lot of opportunities to course correct. In a team sport, if you're playing your game, you're having the best day of your life, and one of your teammates isn't, you know what I believe your job is? To help them. Yeah. You got to help them elevate their game, literally, and then you bring up the whole team. And in some ways that may be harder, because not only are you expending you and your energy, your focus, but you also have to be on par and on the same frequency or vibration as the other ones.
Lorianne, great stuff. I appreciate it. Who are you picking in Game 7? Toronto, Boston?
I grew up in Toronto. I got to go with the Leafs.
Got to go with the Leafs. All right, that's fair. Well, we'll see. 1959, the last time they beat Boston in a series.
Well, here's a really cool, quick story. When I was playing street hockey with the guys, we always had to pick a name. And back in the day, it was either Lanny McDonald, Guy Lafleur, or Daryl Sittler. When I got to pick the names, I was either Mrs. Daryl Sittler, Mrs. Lanny McDonald, or Mrs. Guy Lafleur.
All right. Well, now it'd be different for girls, because now they could be, they could be Poulet.
Exactly.
Right. They could be Serdachny. She, of course, just scored a huge goal for Canada. So it's a little bit better for young girls, I think, now, because you can actually visualize yourself playing in that situation.
Totally.
Awesome. Thanks, Lorianne. Have a great weekend.
You too.
So Lorianne Munzer joins us every Friday here on Sports 1440. Coming up, Shawn Brown is around. He's mall walking right now. We'll find out how the mall walker's doing. Now, I wonder, though, if he's like Rashog. Is he wearing his grandfather's running shoes? Oh, my God. You should see the sneakers that Rashog had on today. Terrible. We'll get to that and more. But first, the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by High Street Insurance. They are driven by people, not products. They're people taking care of people for over 10 years and servicing Canadian businesses just like your own. HighStreetInsurance.com. Supporting local. Support them. HighStreetInsurance.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
2 games on the ice tonight with 2 teams facing elimination. The Preds looking to stay alive as they host the Canucks. Puck drop just after 5 o'clock. Then around 8:20, you got the Golden Knights taking on the Stars. Dallas leads that series 3-2. In the association, another 2 teams could be done tonight. The Magic host the Cavaliers at 5. Cavs lead that series 3-2. Then at 7:30, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks looking to wrap up their series with the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard will not play for LA in this one. According to reports from ESPN, the Los Angeles Lakers have fired head coach Darvin Ham after 2 seasons. The Lakers finished the season with a record of 47-35. They did make it into the playoffs through the play-in tournament before falling to the Denver Nuggets in 5. Major League Baseball today, the Blue Jays are in action, kicking off a weekend series against the Nationals in Washington. That will get going at 4:45. The two teams then will meet tomorrow and Sunday. Both games can be heard right here on Sports 1440 tomorrow at 2 o'clock and then Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Elsewhere around the majors, you got the Orioles in Cincinnati. Phillies host the Giants. Mets taking on the Rays. Twins host the Red Sox. Mariners in Houston. Athletics taking on the Marlins. And the Padres meet the Diamondbacks earlier today. Cubs falling to the Brewers 3-1. And in the WHL tonight, you've got Moose Jaw taking on Saskatoon. Right now, that series tied at 2 games apiece. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by former NHLer Shawn Brown and local boxing legend Ken Lacusta. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
0% for 60 months. I'm not kidding. Where? Wolf GMC Buick. And it's GMC's Adventure Calls event. Pick out a new 2024 Sierra with finance rates as low as 0% for up to 60 months. If you're a Costco member, you get another $1,200 off purchase price on any 2024 in-stock Sierra. We're talking half tons, 3/4 tons, even 1 tons. If you'd rather an SUV, we've got low lease payments and an awesome selection on GMC Terrain. So get in today and get your adventure on. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440. Every weekend, catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays, this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440. Edmonton's home for all things sports.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog?
243. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
We've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantorque.com.
CW Eves Troughing is busy. That's why they're looking for experienced troughers to run one of their trucks. To get paid top rates, contact CW Eves Troughing at 780-435-1492 or email info@cweves.com.
What's cracking at Cattail? Their men's league. Play 18 holes for 18 weeks on Tuesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Then complete the day and head to Out of Bounds. Recently ranked one of Canada's top 10 in fine dining restaurants. For details, visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Eric Mikowski here, head of the family at Furnace Fountain. We are expecting another hot summer. So what are you waiting for to install air conditioning? A few sleepless nights? Your family complaining? Or the hot spell when we have a 3-week wait? The time to get AC is now. Our expert installers are typically done in a few hours, and your family is comfortable all summer long. Daikin is offering a $1,775 rebate on a complete fit air conditioning system. Visit furnacefamily.com. Jingle time.
Done right, day or night.
You got to help them elevate their game.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty
Elevate
Millions
their
Lottery
game.
is midnight tonight. This is your last chance to get in to win the $2.6 million grand prize. A custom-built show home by Burkholz Homes, located in Aspen Gardens. 4,200 square feet of luxury, plus $100,000 cash. And you can't miss the 50-50. It's life-changing. Absolute final deadline, midnight tonight. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Great weekend. You too.
.307 on a lovely positive Friday. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And hey, if you're thinking on it, the Game 7 maybe, or some Game 6s tonight, are you like, you know what? I would love nothing more than to see the LTIR bars get pumped out. So you could use the promo code Gregor50. Go in the Stars on the road tonight. Why not? $5 deposit will get you a $50 wager when you use the promo code Gregor50 at PlayAlberta.ca. But it's only good until the playoffs, so don't waste it. It's free 50 bones, man. Don't wait. Many of you have been texting in. Now, of course, like anybody, they always text in the wins, which is good. Totally fine. So stay within your limit. As we welcome to the show, former NHLer, was a first-round selection, former coach and GM in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, and has really taken a run at Struddy's title of the lover of sweaters. Shawn Brown joins us now. Brownie, how you doing?
Very good. Who's winning? I've
Well,
taken a shot at
dude,
who's actually ahead.
I think you might be ahead now.
Really?
Right?
Thank you.
I've noticed Struddy's trying to wear t-shirts more.
Yeah.
Right? So
It
yeah.
is t-shirt weather now.
Yeah. Well, it is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wear shorts?
Oh yeah, love shorts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I just find it doesn't quite get hot enough for me to, have to wear shorts. Where growing up in Toronto, like with the humidity and everything like that, right? Like you got to wear shorts because you're,
you're sweating.
You're just leaking, right? So, but yeah, hey, thanks. I'll take that title.
Yeah.
From Struddy.
Now I know that the being from Toronto, the Brown family is big fans of the white and blue. What's going through your mind as they get set for Game 7 tomorrow?
Yeah, you know what? I watched a little bit of the game today, as I was kind of puttering around the house in the garage. And you know what? Watching it, like, that's the most committed I've seen them playing as far as doing the little things, as far as blocking shots and playing the right way. And obviously that's why they got the result. But I know that everyone there is on pins and needles. It's amazing when you look at the crowd and just the difference between Edmonton and Toronto, and, like there's people in their seats, there's people not in their seats. It just seems to me it's such a different vibe.
Yeah.
Right. But I couldn't imagine playing in Toronto with the pressure and the negativity. I don't know if people are excited or they're just waiting for them to fail. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're just expecting, and because it's happened for so long, to be disappointed. Right. But I mean, hey, if anything, they have the momentum now. Right. And so
now, are you, having played in playoff series, are you a believer in momentum?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you can see, a little bit of the confidence, and the swagger in the Leafs in their game right now. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think at this time of year, you're dying, or you're not dying, but you're looking for anything to grab onto as a positive, right? And to build off of. And, they put themselves in a situation, without their best player.
Right.
Which is really, really interesting to see. I mean, he's your best player. I mean, they're better with him in the lineup. So,
well, they've changed how they played. I don't like they really have altered. They're not trying to be as fancy, I find, and it's worked because I think they basically said, let's eliminate Pasternak and we can win. Because they don't have and Pasternak hasn't done anything. His own coach said, hey, we need to see him more. And, Marchand's out there and, cheap shotting guys here or there, but he had the one huge game, but other than that, he hasn't done a whole lot either. I think Toronto has done a pretty good job here lately of just frustrating Boston and really not allowing, they're not taking unnecessary risks, and maybe because you have the league's top goal scorer that sometimes you're like, we know he'll score a goal or two, so we can take a risk.
And when you have your best player out, I mean, it also everyone else's spidey senses in their own game and how they have to play in the importance of the details, knowing that if you do get behind, you get in a situation where you don't have your best player necessarily to maybe get you out of a situation, right? So I think if anything, it's really forced, everyone in that lineup for the Leafs to really understand how important each guy in each shift is.
Hey, boys, did somebody say sweaters? Is Brownie the Robbie Ftork of Sports 1440? Love your show from summer. I like that. Oh, class. Yeah. He did love the sweaters, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you like the sweater or do you like the hoodies?
I'm more of a hoodie guy, to be honest, than a sweater. It's a good question. Well, because not many... that sweater's actually all right, but a lot of sweaters don't look good.
What do you mean it's all right?
Yeah, that one's all right. That one I could wear. I could see it. It's it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's lots of now maybe I'm thinking Strutty's he's got some sweaters that my grandpa used to wear. That's just a different style, right? So yours, the zip up one's all right, but I have the perforated hoodie now. It's unreal. Right? It's got a little bit more texture to it. You can wear it under. And nowadays, everything's changed. So I got a few hoodies that you can wear under your blazer. So I love that.
You talk about texture, and now the material is that much better, right? I mean, you can clothes and the way they feel.
And the other thing, I find sweaters always stretch. So eventually then they start hanging off you. I don't like them. Right? All of a sudden it looks too baggy. You got to... you got to dry it all the time.
Every once in a while, you got to wash it too, right?
Dude, well, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
But,
So, hey, speaking of clothes, are you a V-neck guy or are you?
I can go either way. I do have a V-neck on today.
I know. That's right.
I can go either way with that.
And you got the arm showing. I see that. If anyone can see at home, you can see the tricep.
Yeah, it all depends on, what are you going for? If I can wear the V-neck, doesn't look as good, I find, at the blazer. So then I'll use the t-shirt, and because nowadays you can wear t-shirt with the blazer, which is quite nice. And I even have a few summer blazers because you can't wear a blazer that's thick.
Yeah.
In the summer, you're sweating bullets if you got to go to some event or something. But now you have those summer blazers. They're game changers, man.
I don't know if I go to enough important events to get my game up with blazers.
Oh, but you can just wear a blazer out to a house party.
Really?
You're the 100%, man. How you dress?
What kind of crowd are you?
Look good,
I guess we're hanging out in two different crowds.
Buddy, I
think I'd get called out if I did that.
What, to wear a blazer?
That'd be a little too much.
So you're basically saying that your friends have no fashion sense. But I always say this: the guys who call you out, usually I'm like, well, why would I worry about your opinion on fashion? Dude, you're wearing high tops over your jeans. Trust me, you're not the guy I'm asking.
What's wrong with high tops? If you can wear a t-shirt, with a sports coat. You can also wear
the high tops with the big thick tongue that comes out we're not in the 1980s.
Love it. Love the tongue. I do. I love the tongue.
I know you do. But but you see, you're the shoe guy though. So you probably still have do you have some Michael Jordans?
Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're my favorite.
Do you wear them?
Jordans? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the high top guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was actually sniffing around today because I had to come here early because my daughter's birthday's coming up and I wanted to kind of look at a few things before we actually make the purchase. And I did make my way down to the Nike stores to look at some more Jordans there. But once you have,
you have 60 pairs of shoes.
Well, quite
crazy. I just bought 2 pairs of shoes at one time and I almost passed out. I was like, I can't remember last time I bought 2 shoes in one shop.
Yeah.
Ever. Like it's been a long, long time.
Passed
But I
out
got
on the price or just
no, just the fact that like I come home, I don't like because now I put in my shoes, like I have my bunk at home, and I'm like, well, where do I fit them all? I don't like having too many, right? Like I'm kind of like one in, one out.
Yeah.
If I get a new pair of shoes, someone's going.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't need 12 pairs of shoes. But now suddenly I've got like a few. I'm like, okay, I gotta get rid of some. Like I got a new pair of black dress shoes because I needed some, and my old ones aren't that bad, but I'm like, I just need to get rid of them. So now just go. They're like, we'll just keep both. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like I see, because that's what happened with you. You have 60 pairs now. And I guarantee you that 25 of them you have not worn in the last calendar year. At least 25.
100%. Yeah, no, I know. It's just, I don't know. Certain days you feel like a different look, right? And you know what? I do declutter when my dad comes here. Right. I declutter with all my clothes.
You're just like, hey,
I don't know.
You just let them go in and pick.
No, I just some shoes just kind of wear out everyone. They just
so you give them your worn out shoes.
Well, they're not worn out. They just run their course with me. I don't like the feel. I don't like the look. And so my dad's always been more than happy to take any.
Hey, just wait a sec. Are you telling me this Silver Spoon crowd doesn't dress well from Farm Team? Silver Spoon. That's never leaving you. I love it. Sean's, that could be your handle. Maybe you should get into wrestling. Sean Silver Spoon Brown.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll take the brown sugar.
Oh yeah, that's not bad actually. Who gave you? Who gave you that nickname?
I gave that myself.
Oh, you know what's so funny? We have a buddy of ours. His nickname Sugar, and I'm like, it came from himself. What is with you guys? Like, I'm never calling you that now.
Really?
Now that I know it was a self-imposed nickname, no chance. Silver Spoon, way better. Like, there is no chance I might call you BS, but I will never call you Brown Sugar. There's no chance.
You know what? I've always, one of my goals and dreams, I love breakfast. I love the morning and I love greasy spoons. And I've always wanted, my wife loves to cook. And I've always wanted to have a breakfast spot called the either Brown Sugar or Brown Bag. So that's kind of where it came from. And it just, next thing you know, that's my Twitter or whatever.
So why don't you start it? What are you waiting for? Why not start the breakfast place? I love breakfast place.
Knowing different people in the food industry, just
it's
knowing
a tough
how
go.
Knowing how competitive it is. But
so you're scared of competition? Like, dude,
you're
a professional athlete. I thought you'd thrive on that.
Yeah, but I'm not the one that I can make your bacon and eggs, but I'm not, that's not my area of expertise. I think I'll stick with hockey for a little bit, but it is something down the road that I always thought, I love the morning. I would love to have something like that. That's, open till 12 o'clock, have that morning crew sit around, have the regulars talk sports, and then hit the golf course.
All right.
Maybe one day.
Hey, speaking of the golf course, Tom is up to $700 on our package today from the Fitted Golf Company. They have incorporated golf fitting with science. They're a golf science company. They have a design engineer, shaft engineer, professor of biomechanics. They have over 850 driver configurations. Now, you want to bring in there your whole clubs, 450 iron configurations, 1,000 wood configurations on site. So they'll send in, it's a 2-hour fitting, by the way. This is no joke. You come in 2 hours, you're going to get fitted properly, and then they will build your driver from scratch, specific for you. Your loft angle, the stiffness, everything. Grip size, you name it. So this is unique. And it's awesome. And Tom currently has it to steal right now at 700 bones. So helping out the Gregor Foundation, because that's what they wanted, which is great. 833-401-1440. Any level of golfer, you don't have to be an elite golfer for this. In fact, their owner, Jason, was saying it's the beginner golfers and ones who have room to improve that really benefit the most from stuff like this, because you get the proper fit right from the get-go, rather than say, well, I'll wait till I'm good. Because what happens then a lot of times is you're swinging with clubs that aren't good for you, and then it disrupts what your natural swing should be. So keep that in mind if you want it for a gift or anybody else. We'll do that today. 833-401-1440. Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown with you. Coming up, we will talk some, we're going to talk a little boxing next on the Gregor Show, presented by Play Alberta. Hey, Brown, did you ever spar?
Loved it. Yeah, with Daryl Duke back in the day. Kenny Lacusta was around too, so I'd like to talk to him about that.
Did he... did Daryl Duke ever knock you down like he knocked George?
No, I was there for that. But yeah, no, I know who to befriend.
Nice. We'll come back on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Leduc, can leading edge
Buddy, you can slide your
physiotherapy
mic
help
over,
you?
right? 'Cause
Well,
then
this
there's
is
a
a question
camera
I face
rather
every
than
day.
leaning
Let me
into it,
answer the
just
best I
slide it
can.
over.
Do you have a pain or injury to
There
your
you
toe,
go,
foot, ankle, knee,
nice.
hip, lower back, middle back, neck, shoulder, elbow, wrist, or hand finger? Are you
I
dealing
didn't
with
want
a
to mock
sprain,
it 2
strain,
weeks in a
fracture,
row.
tendonitis, bursitis,
Brandon comes
arthritis,
in last
dizziness,
time, his
balance
mic's
issues,
over here.
surgery,
Look at the
whiplash, or
camera.
headache? Things that we can help in leading edge physio in under 30 seconds, and I can't promise we fix everyone, but I can promise that we'll combine our experience, skills, technology, and hands-on care to give you an edge. Life shouldn't hurt. Find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XT60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush Smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Hey, this is Ben Maller. Do you work the midnight shift? Maybe you can't sleep. Let's stay up together. The Ben Maller Show airs weekdays from midnight to 4 right here on Sports 1440. I got to tell you, it's pretty exciting to be in the Edmonton market.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday. Shop 5-day deals like desks for $79, sofas starting at $4.99, and blowout TV and appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you.
Out, I got it.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply. Ennio and Jason are friends.
Hey, buddy.
This is where we
Except
have to
when
name
they talk hockey.
Okay, so what promotional
Edmonton had
company
all those
is
first
this?
overall picks, and they still can't win.
Yeah, but we still beat you. Battle of Alberta champs, baby.
But ask them who makes the best beef jerky in Alberta, and they'll tell
Welcome back. Positive Friday on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown with you, or we'll just call him Silver Spoon. We'll get that one going. I like it. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Streaming it live at sports1440.ca. Thanks so much for listening and watching wherever you are. It's time for our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. It's designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL will provide a platform for 12U and 14U players to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com. Our next guest, of course, was a longtime boxer. Had 47 bouts with a KO rate of over 60%. Impressive. Brown, he said he worked with him a few times. Did he KO Brown? We'll find out. Ken Lacusta joins us. Ken, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing? Ken, are you there? No, we'll have to get in there, Cons. Sounds like he's there, but he ain't there. So now you worked with him. You trained with him too?
Yeah. Well, him and Daryl Duke worked with a lot of the hockey athletes back in the day. And, for me, it was, it was something different, especially when, I'd never done it in the area that I grew up in, but with Daryl Duke's relationship and being a trainer and his involvement with the Oilers, that was it was kind of new to me. And so I used to go down the Panther gym there, and Daryl owned that at one point. And we used to work out in there, and it was amazing. The fact that there was a ring in there and there was no rules. And one day Duker's like, "Hey, I want you to go in there and fight this guy." And I'm like, "Dukey, I've never been in a boxing."
Did you put headgear on?
No. Like no headgear, no mouth guard. Like,
my God.
It was like prison rules down there. It was like, you could work out like no shirt, like just anything went. It was the most amazing.
So he got you to go in there. Why?
Yeah.
Like, well, how is this beneficial for you?
Well, just to learn how to fight. And there's no better way of learning how to fight until getting in a fight. Right. And so
do you remember who the guy was?
I can't remember the guy's name. But he was, he was a boxer and had some matches under his belt, and he was obviously way more skilled and way better than I was. And, to his credit, he could have killed me in 2 seconds, but he was awesome. He took his time. He knew that.
Oh, so it was more of a training session for you. It wasn't like he was like, "Okay, I'm going to come in here and wax you." Just to
yeah. It was a little bit of both. It was like, "Hey, I get an opportunity to go in there and kind of learn what it's like, and kind of take some of Daryl Duke's teaching moments and actually try to apply them in a real situation." And for this guy, I think he was an active fighter. Like it wasn't his main job, but it was something that he did do. So it was an opportunity for him to get in there and just kind of spar and sharpen his skills. And all I remember is like, we only did 3 rounds.
And you were
felt
dead.
like a freaking hour. Honest to God, it was like there was a blowtorch under my shoulders. My shoulder, it was burning. And honestly, he was hitting me so much at will that at one point I was like, literally knock me out, because I couldn't defend myself because I couldn't put up my arms anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Because they were burning and they were sore. And he's giving me belly shot. He's giving me combination. I'm flinching for everything. Right. So yeah, it was the most amazing experience. And to be honest with you, like I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I got better from being in there, but that was the one nice thing about Panther Gym, is that there were so many different people with so many different disciplines, whether it was boxing, martial arts, or whatever it was. Everyone was willing to work with everyone, and there was no egos, right? And it was just I've never been in a gym like that before. There was a meat shop above it. It was stinky. It was dirty. There was old posters. There was pictures. It was such a character place. It wasn't a place that I actually brought my wife down there when we were dating, and I brought her there, and she's like, "You work out here?" And I was like, "Yeah, like it's the cool, like
it's like the dungeon."
And she, and so it was funny. Our first workout, Gregor, it was hilarious. So we used to, Dookie and I and the guys that worked with him, we always did a routine of, it was like 200 push-ups. It was part of the warm up. And one of the things that we did that we focused on was we did these yes and no's, which helped us with our neck strength, right? Because you all know how important that is, right? So I'm in there with my wife, and she's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, just, do the routine with me." And so we're doing these yes and no's. Have you ever done them?
No.
So it's just simple yes and no. And
it's just not in like
And so once you do a certain amount, right, after a while, it it strengthens your neck, burns your neck.
Okay.
And so I'm doing them, and I'm like, and my wife's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, just do it with me. And it's obviously burning and hurting her neck, right? Because she's like, what am I doing this for? I'm like, this will strengthen your neck and make your neck bigger. And she's like, why do I want a big neck?
Brown's like, well, I have a reason, but we'll move along.
Yeah.
Hey, let's we'll get to Ken Lacusta. Ken, did you do yes and no's? Is that like professional boxer training?
Well, that's the main part of professional boxing. You got to get the yes and no's in.
But Kenny, how important is it for a boxer, right? I mean, does it not help with concussions and stuff to have a neck that's strong and, it's not like you got a noodle there, right?
Yeah, you got to work your neck, and it's getting your whole body in shape. It's not just the body; it's mental. It's like the Oilers playing a hockey game. It's like anybody else. You see them when they're doing the national anthem. The guys are shaking. They got their hands. They're all getting prepared. Like, same thing with boxing, except you got nobody to pass the puck to. You got to do it yourself. So you just kind of learn the routine to kind of keep yourself relaxed and be able to fight the right fight.
Ken, what got you into boxing many years ago?
Well, years ago, back when I started at the original Panther Gym in 1976, I think, 76, I started there when it just opened, and I was a kickboxer, and I was rated #1 in the world in kickboxing, and I had beat the cruiserweight champ once in the world, and he beat me once, both in decisions. He beat me in a decision, I beat him back, and boxing was a lot more money at that time. I was making good money as a kickboxer, but there was more money with boxing, so I decided to go into boxing. And of course, Panther Gym has a real good history of kickboxers, Terrell Duke, Jim Walker, a lot of guys, my brother Bill. There's a lot of people involved that were good kickboxers, and of course, we take pride in our kickboxing. That's for sure.
So you went from kickboxing and then into boxing. Why? And was it an easy transition?
Well, yeah, it was an easy transition because the boxing is where you don't have to worry about 4 things coming at you: 2 feet and 2 hands. You worry about your hands, but the guys seem to be technically a little bit better in boxing. You get the guys who are really, really good, like the people who are really like. I like to tell the people, when you look at boxing, you fight someone who's number 7 or 8 in the world, then look to the golf world and say, hey, I'm going to play a guy in golf who's rated 8th in the world and play him 18 holes. You can play with these guys, but it's tough to beat. And I run into a lot of trouble with the real good guys. Some of the other guys I did real well with, but guys like the best fighter I think I ever fought, the top 3 fights in my life was probably Larry Holmes was the toughest of all.
Yeah.
And George Foreman.
Yeah.
And probably third, Willie DeWitt. Those 3 guys were really really tough and hard to fight. But see, when you look at guys like Larry Holmes, he's just such a dynamic fighter with his jab. He's got it all down pat. He's experienced. He's been there before. It's like anything else. When you go up against these guys and you do good and you're happy with how you do, then you're going to be satisfied.
So, Kenny, you've worked with a lot of hockey players, throughout, different summers, and there's such a mental side to boxing and to fighting. And I know, watching you train guys and being around you, when guys are tired and when you're working with them, you spend a lot of time talking to them and going over and just different scenarios in their head mentally. How important was that for you, and how important is it for a boxer? And can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh yeah, it's really important. It's really important to keep your mind on track. I just helped a middleweight that will be fighting on this show, Ethan Hallaby. I just told him I'd give him a couple of pointers on mental. He's really ready, raring and ready to go. But I remember there's a fellow playing with the Pittsburgh Penguins years ago. I was training at Panther Gym, and he was training with me in the summer, and he was really excited about training. Trained the whole summer. I would run with him up a Lamartian Mansion Hill and up Emily. He would throw up, but he would never quit. He would keep running. And then he went to Pittsburgh, and he would phone me from Pittsburgh during camp. And then they had he beat up a couple guys in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden they said, tomorrow we're having the yellow and white game, and you're going to be probably going up against Aloha. He was a big Polish, Canadian Polish guy. And he said, you're probably going to have to fight him. So this boy phoned me the night before. He says, Kenny, we're playing tomorrow. I'm going to be probably scrapping with Aloha. He said, give me some pointers. What do you think? And he knew how to fight. And all I did is I straightened out his head for him a little bit. I told him, you know how to play hockey and you know how to fight. All you got to do is relax and just go out and do it. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will come and then you'll fight. Tonight, have a good rest and get prepared for the fight tomorrow. Well, I said, tomorrow is the night you want to worry about it. Tomorrow comes. He sat in the bench. They were about to go out and the coach tapped him on the shoulder and said, we don't want you fighting Ottawa tonight. Just play. See, so sometimes you don't even have a fight and you get all excited and worried about. Same as the Oilers now. Some of them might be worried about when they play Nashville or Vancouver. No sense in worrying now. Get your head together the day before, the day of, and do your thing. You know how to play hockey. You know how to box. Just got to go and do it.
Kenny, it's can I guess that player? Is it Steve Parsons?
It was Steve Parsons, yeah.
That's too funny.
Steve was, that's a good guess because that was Steve. Steve was such a nice guy, but what a hard worker and a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big dude.
Tough.
Oh, yeah. Steve, and Parsons used to always say to me when he was running up the hills, Kenny, I ain't stopping. I used to say to him, I said, Parsons, them guys you're going to be fighting with, if you want to make the National Hockey League, these guys are scrappers. They've been scrapping since they've been 6, 7, 8 years old, whether it's in the hockey ice or otherwise. So you've got to get ready. And he used to really get prepared. That's the whole thing, preparation. I heard our coach say that many times, the hockey coach of the Oilers. Let's be prepared for what we got coming up tomorrow or the week. Be prepared. If you get prepared, like Ethan Hallaby, the boy I trained is fighting tomorrow night, he's prepared and he's in great shape. He's about 163 pounds, 6'1", and he's a real big puncher. And he's undefeated and just a real crowd pleaser. I keep telling him, like yesterday, you're prepared. You've done everything you have to do. You run those hills on 105th Street 5 times as hard as you can go up there. Your wind is good. Just go out and execute. Go out now, son, and execute and do your thing. That's what it's going to take tomorrow night.
Ken Lakusa joins. So that's the Alliance fight, and that's at River Cree Resort and Casino tomorrow night. And I know you've been training for a long time. Ken, what has evolved, or how have you maybe changed at all in your approach to how you train boxers today than maybe even 10 years ago? What's different in the boxing game?
Well, I think what's different now is the skill set. Everybody's gone from, of course, you have to be tough and you have to have a skill set, but the training, you really got to put in the time. If you really put in the time, if you want it and you have the skill set, like some of these boys are really natural. Like there's a young Ethan Hallaby that I keep talking about. He's very natural. We have a girl fighting the main event tomorrow night. She's probably one of the most exciting boxers in the whole world.
That's Alexis Kubicki, correct?
Yes, she's fighting tomorrow night. And when she fights, she beat a girl last fight. There was 30 wins and 11 losses from Mexico City. When she fights, they call her the Iron Lady. So she's like Iron Mike. She comes straight forward, pitching punches. She won Fighter of the Night last show we put on, and she's just exceptional to watch. So we really have something here in the fight game for tomorrow night for all the folks to come down and watch. We got some really exciting fighters, and I think it's going to be a great show.
Now, she's up because, if I'm not mistaken, she's up for the vacant NABF women's flyweight title, correct?
Yeah, they're going to be, I think they're fighting for the IBF, one of the top 3. They're fighting for the big title tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's one of the top 3 titles in the world. She's a young girl. She can't be over 21 years old, just a young girl. World amateur champ as an amateur. She's fought in Europe before, many fights in Europe as an amateur. So she's really got a lot of experience. She's 115 or 118 pounds, and she really comes to fight. So she's a treat at the end of the show. She'll be the main event. And then we got about 4 or 5 other really exciting bouts. The promoter, John Mendoza, has done a wonderful job, him and his wife, orchestrating everything. We're working with a real nice charity called Alberta Helping Animals Society. And these people help people that don't have the money to help their dogs get better, whether it's your teeth or whatever they are. So that's really a plus for us to help them out and keep them riding the good ship, helping all the people with animals.
Ken Lakusa joins us. Ken, you mentioned how Alexis, she goes straight forward, right? Like there's a lot of different styles in boxing. Is there one that you find generally is going to lead to more success?
Well, I find what I do when I have the young boys, I see a boy. If I see a boy, like I train 2 young boys now, they're really, really nice young kids. One is 13 and one's 15. And the one that's 13 is about a short guy, and he's about 155 pounds. He's 13. And his brother is about 15, and he's about 6'1", and he weighs 195. And I'll tell you one thing, these young guys today train very hard. I'm training these young guys like they're going to be doing this as a profession, which I don't think they're going to, but I'm training them really hard, and they're learning. Their dad is so proud of them. They've won their last couple fights each, and it's a nice thing to give back to these young guys.
I was at the last fight there, and I sat with Ethan's family. They're such a nice family, and I'm looking forward to the fights tomorrow. Like, what is it like? How does Ethan find you? Like, how do you find these kids? And you've done it for so long. What is the it that you see in a kid that is, because I'm sure you're probably picky in who you decide to train, but what is the it that you see in a kid that you want to train?
That's a very good point. See, you remember in the olden days, in the old hockey, you guessed Steve Parsons' name. Well, in the old hockey business, there was a guy in Montreal named Sam Pollock. And he used to say, hey, if you get me a hockey player, and you get me a boy that can skate, I'll show you a hockey player. So what I say when a guy is a fighter, I want a guy who's got some work ethic and can handle the nerves of fighting. So you get a young boy, you put him in there, and he seems to handle that part of it, and he wants to work real hard. Well, you can learn, you can be taught. Mike Tyson was 15, 16 years old, and he was knocking guys out, and just a guy that just wanted to train. And so if you want to follow their map, there's a map to get to Atlantic City, and there's a map to get to Vegas. Well, the map to get to the top in the boxing ranks is outwork everybody when you're talented. If you're a talented person and you outwork these people, then your chances of becoming the best you can possibly be, and that's all we want to be. Congratulations, you'll do it.
Kenny, before I let you go, can you confirm a story that I've heard many times? Is it true that Ken LaCusta was the first ever Sunshine Boy in the Edmonton Sun?
Now we're going back a long ways. I don't know about the first one, but I think I was awful close to the first one. Yeah. That's a long time ago.
Now, do you still have one of those kicking around your house somewhere? A few copies of it?
I think I have somewhere a picture of that picture, because I keep my wife had kept a whole bunch of pictures. We have two big things full of write-ups of boxing, and don't get a chance to ever look at them anymore. But it's always nice to keep all that stuff.
Oh yeah, hey, Sean's still jealous. He always wanted to be a Sunshine Boy, but never.
I totally forgot about that.
We got to hook Sean up.
Oh yeah,
he's on schedule to be the next one. That's it.
Well, Kenny, thanks for this. Enjoy the fights tomorrow night. Really appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. That is Ken LaCusta. Man, he had a really good career. I think people he fought Donovan Razor Ruddock, right? George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Tommy Morrison. He fought a lot of good boxers for a long time, man. He had close to 50 fights.
I wonder what it would be like. I mean, we've all
Frank Bruno. I'm pretty sure he fought too. I gotta look that one up.
Like George Foreman. You imagine getting punched by George Foreman?
God, no.
Yeah, he's the guy that. He, to me, never seemed like he walked back. He was always going forward, and his punches just seemed so heavy.
Hit so hard. You watch. Do you ever watch the Muhammad Ali documentary? No. And you could tell later in his career when he was fighting, his Parkinson's was coming on. They were still having him fight, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But man, the amount of punishment that those heavyweights could endure is mind blowing to me. You're big and strong, and they're just these guys are hitting. It's like a truck, and they take it.
There could be nothing worse when you hit someone with your best and they just shake it off and look at you, and you're just like, I am in trouble.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
I go to the fights tomorrow. We got to take a quick break. We'll get back on track, so we don't run too late. We'll get more about Brownie's story. Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown with you on Positive Friday and Sports 1440 Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Brad McCory here. Don't miss our 2023 clearance at St. Albert Dodge. Ram 1500s are now 25% off, with savings up to $17,000. You can now buy a new Ram for $45,000. Looking for a Ram 25 or 3500 diesel? Take advantage of the no-charge Cummins diesel engine. That's right. Pay for the truck, not the motor. St. Albert Dodge is the home of the $5,000 monthly giveaway. Buy or refer a friend to enter. We also have an industry-leading 4.6 Google review rating. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit femalesuperleague.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Wednesday, May 8th is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yup.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's for McHappy Day on Wednesday, May 8th. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
Jump into spring with a leap of faith and a special offer from Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling. Book now and enjoy a 10% discount on our concrete lifting, void filling, or foundation services. It's our way of saying thanks for choosing the experts in elevation. Don't wait. Spring special is on for a limited time. Visit trademarkleveling.com or call 780-691-LIFT. That's 780-691-5438. Trademark Concrete Lift and Leveling, where your ground gets a new lease on life.
The absolute final deadline in Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery is midnight tonight. This is your last chance to get in to win the $2.6 million grand prize. A custom-built show home by Burkholz Homes located in Aspen Gardens. 4,200 square feet of luxury plus $100,000 cash. And you can't miss the 50-50. It's life-changing. Absolute final deadline midnight tonight. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
One ball.
Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. Dan came in at $750 on our golf package today from Fitted Golf, which is going to be you get your own driver. It's a 2-hour fitting. They're basically a golf science fitting company where they have a director in biomechanics. Like they put a lot into it to fit it with you. So it's not like you just go pick out a driver. No, they're going to do all the fitting. Then you get the head and you get the shaft and you get the grip and everything. And then, of course, you get to take it home. One of a kind, your own, fitted perfectly for you. And currently now up to $750 today. So 833-401-1440. Hey, you got a golfer? Hey, maybe mom's a big golfer. Mother's Day is coming up next weekend. Not bad. Might get her on the course with you even more, or might get you on the course even more. You never know. 833-401-1440. Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown, with you now. Brownie, before the break, what were you going to mention about with Lacusa?
Oh, I was just going to say that I guess I knew it was Steve Parsons because we were buddies. We used to work out together, and Steve got an invite to the Boston Bruins training camp when I was with Boston. So my wife and I had a place there, and so he had asked if he could come early and train and get to know the guys and get comfortable with the environment, and then closer to training camp, move into the hotel. So he came up there, and it was just funny because he. I think this was I don't know, it might have been before, like they have that website now, it's hockeyfights.com there where you can look up anyone's fights and stuff like that. So I think it was before that. And so he came and he had a ton of tapes. And so he spent a ton of time and more time in his room than anywhere else. And my wife was just like, hey, what, like, Parsi he never comes out. Like, what's he do up there? And I was like, I don't know. So I thought maybe he felt uncomfortable and didn't want to kind of walk around. I just wanted to make him feel more comfortable. So I knock on his door and he's just watching video after video of different fights of different guys potentially that were at camp that he would, have to fight. So he was studying them.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay. So, I told my wife that and she's like, oh, is that kind of weird? Like, you don't really do that. And I was like, well, everyone has their own style kind of thing. So anyway, it got closer to the date where he had to go, he was going into the hotel and he was packing up his stuff and I'm walking him out the door. My wife's saying goodbye. And he's like, hey, Brownie, nothing personal. Like we'll probably have to fight, but it's nothing, there's nothing negative from it. And so I was like, yeah, whatever, you're trying to make a team. I'm trying to make a team. Do what you got to do. And so he left and my wife was just like, she's like, that's weird. Like, isn't that weird? And I'm like, what? And she's like, he just stayed here and basically said he's probably going to fight you or potentially you guys are going to fight. Is that like, that kind of weird to me? And I was like, well, that's hockey. And that's just what it could happen. I mean, his style, my style.
Did you fight him?
No, we never did fight. But yeah, I mean, we were talking off air. It was just that, that's the beautiful thing about hockey is that, guys are so competitive and everyone's trying to earn a job or, stay in a league, and that type of stuff does happen. But when you're not, you haven't played a sport at those levels and you don't understand it. It's different for other people.
Some people can't grasp it because they're not in the situation. They're like, well, I would never do that. Well, that's why you're not playing. And that's not a knock. That's just how it is.
Yeah. So I always found it interesting. I didn't like, it's nice to obviously be aware of what guys' different skills or maybe some things that they might do and you should be aware of. But to watch too much, I found, like, for me, that would psych me out. That would freak me out. And I would
like, geez, this guy's just crushing everybody.
Just an animal. I want to stay away from him. You know what I mean? So everyone's got a little bit of a style, but that it's hard enough to do. And I don't know if I'd want too many thoughts going into my head. And you got to be, the thing that I found playing hockey and going through that is you got to be careful that you don't build up someone bigger than what they are and take away from your own ability, right? But I mean, because looks, that's one thing that I found challenging. Like when I turned pro, especially coming out of junior, where we're all, we all look young and, pretty much close to the same age. When you go to pro, I remember this guy asking me to fight and, he had this beard and look, he was a man. I could tell he probably had kids and a wife at home. And I was like, in my head, I was like, he must be tougher than me. And
so you're lost before you've even started.
Well, yeah, you start thinking like that and you're done. Right. And that was a hurdle, at least for me, was just looking at just the look of someone, and, obviously, you get over it. You don't let that fear stop you, but it's amazing what the mind can do.
For sure. Brent is up to 800 now on the golf package, courtesy of Fitted Golf. So thanks very much. Oilers did have a practice today. No Kane, no Adam Henrique on the ice. They're both expected to be skating before the Oilers' next game, which right now all arrows are pointing to Tuesday. There's a small chance it could be Sunday. Vancouver wins tonight and Dallas wins tonight, then there's a small chance the game might be played on Sunday. But I think right now odds are more likely to be Tuesday, but don't rule it out. Don't never say never. There's a chance for Sunday, but Tuesday would seem more likely, whether it's Tuesday in Edmonton, if Nashville wins, or if it's Tuesday in Vancouver and the Canucks win. There is the advantage of travel, whatever. But Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just talked about the importance today of a practice as we go to the oil report brought to you by VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. 0.99% financing right now on any lease deals at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. They are Canada's #1 Volvo dealership, 13-time Excellence Award winner in sales and service. And Nugent-Hopkins just talked about, hey, they aren't used to having a break, right? Based on their past. They haven't had a big break very often. And so just the importance of getting on the ice, and what does he use practice for?
Sure. Especially after you win a series and you have a day off, easy to kind of come out a little lackadaisical the next couple days. But I thought today we were sharp. It was a good skate to kind of get our legs going and kind of mentally get back into it, and I expect the same tomorrow.
The Kentucky Derby is coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Big horse racing guy. You watching that? You got anybody you like?
I'll be watching. Today's a big day out there too. So the Phillies, probably watch a little bit of that too. I don't know if the favorites outside post, second favorites inside post kind of. So it's always a tough one to pick. So it's fun to watch.
When you're retired, would that be a bucket list event that you want to go to?
I've actually been, in 2015. Unfortunately, back then we had a little more time to kill. So one with my family, and an amazing event. Everybody's dressed up, having a great time. Really, really fun event to go to.
Yeah. So I tried to word that as professionally as I could. When you retire, because obviously that means if you're going to the Kentucky Derby, you're in the playoffs, right? So, the Oilers, and hey, 9 years ago we went back when that was the last time the Oilers were ultra terrible. That was, of course, the McDavid. Well, maybe he went to celebrate because they'd won the McDavid lottery a few weeks earlier. He's like, well, you know what? I better go now because we might not be missing the playoffs. Well, he was close. They did miss the 3 of the first 4 years, but then after that, no issues with it. It is interesting, Brownie. So I was talking to Chris Knobloch about the preparation leading up as coaches. So they're doing all the pre-scouting for both Nashville and Vancouver, right? They've got everything set up. They won't present both to the players. They'll wait. So if it goes 7 games, they would basically have like Sunday night. If you're a player, and nowadays the technology is different, so that game ends Sunday night, you'll know who you're playing. The coaches, if you were a player, would you want to get the information Sunday night, or do you wait and come to practice Monday morning?
Yeah, I think you're waiting to come the next day. But, I think, as much as you want to know tactically how they're going to play and make sure that you're not surprised on, some of their tactics and face-off setups and so on, you got to make sure that the Oilers aren't taking away, and taking away their strengths too, right? So be aware, but you also want to make sure that, they're all doing the right things, and they've obviously put themselves in a situation and are playing a certain way that, that's the biggest focus, for them is those details. But I think a lot of it, everyone seems to now there's a face-off play off of every face-off draw, right? So those are probably the big things, but these guys are hockey players. They're fans of it. So I bet you a lot of the video and information that they're probably going to get, they're sitting at home watching it and are aware of it themselves.
Yeah. You're like, there are certain guys that you played with that pick up things really quickly, and some guys need to be pointed out. That's just how it is, right? Everybody's going to learn at different paces and see things quickly. So, Knobloch kind of went through it where their first game against LA, Mark Stewart had mapped out the penalty kill, what he wanted to do based on the tendencies of LA. And the first penalty kill LA had, Knobloch was telling the story today. He was watching it, and everything that Stewart had showed him that this is why we want to do the penalty kill was happening. He was just like, okay, we're prepared.
Yeah.
Right. And so you need good assistant coaches to win. And the head coach gets a lot of credit, but Knobloch has been very quick to point out Gulletson and Stewart because those guys oversee the special teams. And obviously your power play is 45% and, probably better in essence, because they had 2 goals that scored within 2 seconds right after, right? So you think about it, it's 11 goals on 20 chances, and then their penalty kill didn't allow anything. So it'll be curious to see what Vancouver or Nashville's power play does. They know what they do, and they see their tendencies, and then that's what they're going to focus on.
And I think that's probably the reason, obviously, you know, you look at the multiple different looks that the Oilers are giving teams on the power play. I mean, just because, I mean, every coach is going to think the same way and know that, hey, listen, this is the way they're going to prepare for us. But it's up to the coaches to try and throw a little bit of a wrinkle in there. You know, so, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what makes these guys so elite and professional, is because you can prepare them for whatever you want and they can expect this, but you know that there's going to be slightly some changes and different looks that you're going to get. And that's when the hockey player and his hockey IQ and why he's a professional is going to be able to adjust and have success. But I mean, the perfect example is the Oilers on the power play. They just, you know, they're so tricky and they're so hard because they just throw so many different looks at you. And then obviously McDavid and his ability just to, I mean, the passes that he's making and finding guys is off the charts ridiculous. Like, you know, it is what it is. As a defending player, you're just got to tip your cap. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown with you on Sports 1440. Let's get to the ConMad Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. Being on the road together means getting a great deal on tires. You can save up to $200 on select tires, including Goodyear, right now until June 8th at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Stanley Cup playoffs rolling on tonight. 2 games on the schedule at 5:20. The Preds taking on the Canucks. Vancouver leads that series 3-2. Then at 8 o'clock, the Stars in Vegas taking on the Golden Knights. Dallas up 3-2 in that one as well. In the association, 2 games tonight. 2 teams facing elimination. The Magic host the Cavs at 5 o'clock. Cleveland leading 3-2. And then at 7:30, the Dallas Mavericks look to wrap up their series with the LA Clippers. Clippers will be without Kawhi Leonard in that one, who continues to deal with a knee injury. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays are in action in Washington, taking on the Nationals. First pitch in about 45 minutes. The 2 teams will also meet tomorrow at 2:05 and Sunday at 11:35. Both games can be heard right here on Sports 1440 radio feed. Only one game was about to get going. We've got a rain delay in Cincinnati as the Reds host the Orioles. Later today, you got Pirates, Rockies, Mets in Tampa, Yankees host the Tigers, Red Sox travel to Minnesota, Cards host the White Sox, Marlins up against the Athletics, Diamondbacks meet the Padres, and the Braves in Los Angeles. Earlier today, Brewers knocked off the Cubs 3-1, and it's Game 5 of the WHL's Eastern Conference Final. Saskatoon and Moose Jaw meeting. Puck drops just after 6 o'clock in Saskatoon. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN and Ask 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of Lower Bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
What's cracking at Cattail? Maybe you've got the next tiger on your hands. Cattail Crossing offers young golfers Operation 36, a program to improve their growing skill set with other golfers their age. To register, email proshop@cattailcrossing.ca.
Building a new home? You may not need a residential elevator yet. But in the future, a RAM elevator could provide greater accessibility and even make your house more appealing to buyers. So book a consultation with RAM Elevators and Lifts and find out how to strategically place closets to save space that will accommodate the addition of an elevator when you're ready. Plan for the future in your new home with grounded simplicity, elevated design. Learn more online at trustram.com.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XC60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday, shop 5-day deals, like a 5-piece queen bedroom set for $7.99 or a mattress for just $149. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Last month, I talked about a 0 payments for 6 months offer on quality used RVs, and people came in asking about something else.
I remember that offer. You get to enjoy the whole summer in the great outdoors without making even one payment.
That's right, Bob. But there's another thing that we do at No Bull. If you buy an RV from us and then decide you don't want it after all, I'll buy it back from you.
I think you're the only one in the universe who stands behind RVs like that.
Probably right, Bob. But more than one person came in to ask, are you really saying I can buy a used RV and not make any payments and still get your buyback guarantee if I don't like it after all? My answer, of course. Remember the name of our store? There's no fine print. We have the best offers, the best financing, the best guarantee, and the best customer service in the province. We combine all of that. You get everything when you come to No Bull. Anything else would be, well, you know.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Welcome back, everyone. Positive Friday on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Streaming live on sports1440.ca. Appreciate you watching, listening to the show. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Get in the game. Of course, a double dip tonight in the NHL. You have Dallas trying to get rid of the Vegas Golden Knights. Something tells me a few people are rooting for that one in the city. And then you have Nashville and Vancouver. Yesterday, we asked a question: who do Oilers fans want, Nashville or Vegas? Nashville or Vancouver. And at the end, it was pretty split, 50-50. Right? Some wanted, hey, home ice advantage. Some wanted less travel in Vancouver. Just felt, with Demko and those injuries, that Vancouver's a better matchup. Others felt, Nashville's not that good. Leon Draisaitl eats him for lunch. So I don't think it matters, if I'm being honest. I think the Oilers are going to be favored in either series.
I agree with you. The fact that, Draisaitl has had a ton of success in Nashville, but, right now, the way that they're rolling and the confidence that their star players and as a team they're playing with, I don't know if there's a bad matchup, right? And, it's a new team and it's a new series. Everything changes anyway. But I just like the fact that the guys that need to be going are going along with the supporting cast and the goaltending, right? It just seems like it's just slowly getting better.
Yeah, no. And like Edmonton's been they've been the best team in the NHL since Namok took over. So you don't just fluke your way into the best record. Like they'll be now. You get to the third round, Dallas or Colorado. That's going to be a much tougher test than Vancouver or Nashville. No question about it. Doesn't mean they can't win. It will just be a tougher test for sure. Now we'll see. Who's healthy. That's going to play a factor for any of those teams when they get there. We do have one Game 7. So ask you, Brownie, are we going to have more than one Game 7? Is either Vegas or Nashville winning tonight?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's you look at Dallas and Vegas. I mean, you got the defending Stanley Cup champions and the leadership and the experience there. I wonder what they do with their goaltending. Like, do they go back with Hill? Yeah, it's for hockey and for the fact that for us fans, Game 7 and more hockey. I'm hoping for more Game 7s.
Oh, I'm 100% with you.
Yeah,
I think Nashville's going to win tonight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Vancouver, they got too many passengers right now offensively. And I think Vegas or Nashville will find a way to squeak out a win. It's going to be uneventful. Like, trust me, you'll watch that game. Now, unless it totally changes from what we've seen in the first few games, this is going to be a very uneventful game. And Order fans will be like, oh my God, this is terrible. We can beat either one of these teams. But because I'm sorry, you're only averaging 18 shots a game. Like, give me a break. So, but I do think Vancouver will win in 7. So, that's my prediction.
It just takes one of those Pettersson, one of those guys. Like it, you get a break, you get a goal, right? That's you never know when that's going to change, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think every game, every series is a little bit tougher, and I think if each round and each round you go, I think it doesn't really matter the matchup by the next round and rounds after that, it just comes down to health. Right? Who's healthy?
Yeah.
It's probably
who doesn't make the mistakes at the key time. Sure. Yeah. Sometimes like Edmonton in 2022. Yeah. They were banged up with Nurse and Draisaitl. I don't think they would have won the series. They might've won a game or two. I don't think they would have won the series at that point. Like Colorado was just a deeper team. Right?
Yeah. But each shift in each game, you never know what's going to happen. What injury, what potential injury could happen.
Yeah.
Right? Things can change shift by shift, game by game, period by period.
Yeah. Now, let's get to it's Positive Friday. This is going to be a very positive Friday for one of you, as it is time for Here Comes the Sun, brought to you by Action Electrical, where we are next week is the final week of qualifying. And on Friday, so 2 weeks from today, we'll do the draw, and somebody is going to win a $15,000 solar system for their home. So now it includes a site assessment, all the structural engineering and permitting costs, the supply and installation of a solar system on your home, or you can gift it to someone. Now, here's the requirements. You need to be a homeowner. I'm not going to put it on a rental place because you don't get the long-term benefit of it. You need to reside within the Edmonton area, 50-kilometer radius of Edmonton. And you want newer shingles that are 12 years older if you have the asphalt ones. If you have the tin ones, don't worry about it. If you have the tin roof, obviously not an issue. And the reason they want 12 or younger is just because you put it on, it's pretty expensive. And then if all of a sudden you need to replace your shingles in a few years, it's going to cost you even more to have to replace the shingles by taking it off. So trying to save you money, which they will be doing, not only in the installation process, but think of all the money you're going to save every month. We've had solar at our farm. My mom put it on the barn, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. And it has been unbelievable. Her bills in the wintertime are virtually nothing. Like summertime, we're low anyway. But in the wintertime, any farmer knows, right? You got everything plugged in. You're trying to keep the water going. Everything's hot. You got the heat lamps on, depending on how many animals you have. The bills, the amount of power you use goes up significantly. Her bills drop immensely over the wintertime. So it's a huge, huge savings. And for a lot of people right now, every dollar can make a big difference. So it's Positive Friday. So very simple today. You text in to 833-401-1440 with your name, a positive comment on Positive Friday. Could be about anything you want. Connor Halley, Shawn Brown, whatever you like. The Oilers, the weather. You can stretch it and find something positive about politicians, but let's be real here. We don't need anybody lying. So we'll just a positive comment with your name. It could be positive about whatever you want. Maybe Action Electrical. Who knows? And then Con Man will put it in his old trusty system, and we'll see who qualifies. 833-401-1440 on a positive Friday today. So it should be quite good. Now let's get a few texts. Hey, boys, what does Boston do about their goaltending next game? Everyone's been focused on the rotation, but the goalie hasn't been the problem. Swayman looks really good, even in their losses from JC. Well, it's hard. Like, he has been, every game he's played, he's either been the first, second, or third star. Every game. So I don't know. He's allowed, 4 goals the last 2 games. I don't really, like the first one, you can see it's like I get the whole focus on blocking shots, but man, when a guy's not ripping one, get the hell out of the way. I don't know if you saw that McAvoy goal. Like, Nylander's just floating one at the net, right? Goes off of him, short side, beats that's never beating him. So, and I get it. It's a fine line. Where you want guys blocking shots. Like, I hate shot blocking this one. And I'm 90% of guys don't like doing it. I don't care what you say. Like, hey guys, we got a guy behind me who's the Michelin man. He's all padded up. And here I am with my nothing covered my skates, barely got any shin pads on. My shoulder pads are from when I was 14 years old because they're comfortable. But hey, let's block that vulcanized rubber shot of 95 miles an hour. Like, it's pure lunacy.
But winning teams do it. Yeah, who likes it?
Yeah,
you have to do it. No one likes it.
Wow. I think we've kind of jumped the shark, though. You used to do it a little bit, but now it's
expected. Everyone has to.
I know.
It's important. All the good teams, if you want to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Leafs.
But the Bruins on a shot block could cost them the series.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why it's never a bad idea to throw the puck just on net. Right?
Yeah.
That's all Nylander did.
Yeah,
was,
it's very true.
I don't know. Trying to think back of that play. I mean, McAvoy's obviously, an NHL star defenseman. I'm sure he probably wasn't expecting it to come at the net, and that's why it only caught a piece of him. But I mean, anytime you throw a puck to the net, number one, is a good thing. And number two, when you get guys going to the net, all the indecision as a defender, that's, potentially that's what happens.
Yeah.
And those are usually that, not that often are you scoring a goal that's a highlight reel goal. It's the ugly ones that are going to get you through.
Sometimes there's no question about it. Like Nylander breakaway goal, pretty sweet though, to salt it away. And it's a really good question, man. It would be hard for me to go to Allmark tomorrow night. He hasn't played since game 2.
And sometimes there's just the feel, I'm assuming, from a player to a goalie, like when you're in it and feeling it, like, and then, coming in from the bench, and mentally there's got to be that side. And like you said, I mean, if he hasn't played well, do you just shake it up to shake it up? That's
So they put themselves in a tough spot, man. That's a fascinating question to see who they're going to go in goal for the Boston Bruins in a pivotal game 7. The Leafs now have lost 5 consecutive game 7s. The 3 to the Bruins in 2013, 15, and 16. Then they 13, 18, and 19. Then they lost to the Canadiens in 21. Then they lost to Tampa Bay in game 7 in 2022. So they're trying to end the drought, not only against the Bruins, losing a series since 1959, but also 5 consecutive game 7s. The last time they won in game 7, the Ottawa Senators, back before there was a salary cap.
So let me guess your plans tonight. You must be watching it with your...
Actually, you know what? It's my mother's birthday today. And so after the show, we're going out to my mom's house to have dinner. We're bringing dinner and some other stuff. And so, there'll probably be no watching. Game 7 tomorrow, I'll be watching for sure.
Yeah.
But tonight, although my mom's a huge sports fan, right? Like, she's huge.
Does she listen to you?
Yeah, she a little bit. Never said she was a smart sports fan, but no, she does quite a bit, I think, at times. It's like every now and then I can tell she listens because she'll ask me about something was said on the show. So, she does listen, but she's a huge sports fan.
Yeah. So what's her dinner of choice? Like, what are you bringing?
Homemade pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? Are you just bringing the dough and...
Yeah, we're going to make it there.
Yeah.
And all the toppings and stuff.
Yeah.
And
so where do you get the dough? Italian center?
Yeah. And then the salad. And then her favorite's chocolate cake. So she has some, but we have a special chocolate cake that she doesn't know about. So I think my mom's a big green thumber. So she's probably outside right now getting all of her flower beds and everything ready to roll. So, there'll probably be some work to do too. When
I got a question to ask her. We have a garden too.
Oh yeah.
So I've heard different things, like we till our garden, right? Rototill.
Yeah.
And then I've heard that brings up dormant seeds and weeds and stuff like that. Like, does your mom rototill? Or I've heard that's not
We
it
would,
looks good.
We rototill.
Really?
Usually though, we rototill in the fall.
Okay.
Right? Because then if you want to bring it all up and any of the weeds that are coming up, if the weeds are underground, they're growing anyway. Those things can grow in anything, man. Like, I don't know if you're tilling up weeds per se.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't know. I talked to my billet family and she's really into it. And she said that she doesn't do it because it affects the weeds and potential weeds that might be.
Maybe. Well, my mom's graduated now. We have because my mom's turning 79. Happy birthday, Mom. We have the big garden beds now.
Happy birthday.
Up that are higher. So there's no rototilling in those.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because it's off the ground because obviously, but for years, like we used to rototill the whole time. Like our garden shrunk, but though now she has a lot of plants and everything. But we used to, like, the garden that we had, I was a kid, man, like, I don't know how big it was, but it was massive. Like, it was a whole day project, the family, just to plant the garden, which was great though, because then you had,
that's awesome.
you had all the food all summertime. Like, I don't care. Anybody out there, if you've never had like fresh peas, like, you could just go raid your own garden when you're like 15. It was unbelievable. You had like fresh peas and, beets and, oh man, like fresh beets. That's probably my fave. Like, God,
beets are so
good.
Yeah, I love, you know what?
The only bad thing about beets is when you forget that you ate beets and all of a sudden you go to the washroom, you're like, what's going on?
Exactly. We've all done that.
That's the only time. And it's like, oh no, I had beets. Okay, thank God.
How good is it for your kids though? Like, that's what I found for our kids. Like, it just, once they plant it, grow it, see it, it just helps with their eating, right? I mean, what kid loves vegetables? And I found that kind of bought into this.
Well, you get fresh garden vegetables, man, like peas and carrots and even lettuce. Like, big difference. Yeah. So I know there's some places that have the community gardens in town now.
Those are cool.
Oh, they're great. Yeah. More people should be growing their own food, man. 100%. If you can do it, do it. You'll never regret it.
Yeah. Does anyone go there and grab extra veggies?
Like somebody raid their garden?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
You think so?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, like, we used to raid gardens all the time, middle of the night or something.
Really?
But not really much. Just, a few carrots here and there.
Cucumber?
No. Carrots, buddy. Carrots or peas. That was kind of it.
Yeah.
Big zucchinis.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Pumpkins. We got pumpkins at the farm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Pumpkin pie. Fresh.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie. When we come back, Craig Button will join us. Something tells me Butts might have planted a garden or two in his life. Maybe. We'll see. The old pickleball champion. Talk about that and more. And we'll announce our winner today in Here Comes the Sun, brought to you by Action Electrical.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice. Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440. Every weekend, catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays, this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440. Edmonton's home for all things sports.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday. Shop 5-day deals like desks for $79, sofas starting at $4.99, and blowout TV and appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick is saving you more.
Try the new extra-large New York-style crispy pepperoni pizza only from Papa John's. Get you some of that crispy, curly, cuppy pepperoni on top of an extra-large New York-style crust pizza with creamy tomato sauce and a 3-cheese blend. This ain't around forever, so walk fast like you're in NYC and order one now. The extra-large New York-style crispy pepperoni pizza for just $22.99, only at Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday, shop 5-day deals like a 5-piece queen bedroom set for $7.99 or a mattress for just $149. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
Vision Credit Union is proud to serve rural Albertan entrepreneurs, business owners like Jennifer and Jason Miller, who own North Star Oilfield Services and Distribution in Wainwright. They started the company back in 1997 with a single truck. Today, they're proud to have a team of 9 employees, including their 3 sons, a fleet of oilfield service trucks, and a distribution shop. Way to get down to business, North Star. Looking for financial services to help your company get down to business? Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Who's our qualifier, Cons? Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440 and our lucky qualifier today. And here comes the sun, which is a $15,000 solar system for your home. Unbelievable. Full installation. You get the assessment, all the engineering, everything, courtesy of Action Electrical. Victor is our lucky qualifier today. Victor, good afternoon. How you doing?
Well, not too bad. And yourself?
Good. Who do you want the orders to play? Nashville or Vancouver?
Nashville. Got to see Draisaitl go off.
Oh, well, he has a tendency to do that against them. That is very true. Do you think either team is a harder matchup, or are you confident the orders will be both?
Confident, 100%.
Oh, I like it. Well, hey, how confident are you that you could win? You've qualified. You got in. You got one step. Connor will talk to you about that off the air. Well, one more step about an email, but that's the easiest part. This is the hardest to get in, and you could win a $15,000 system. Would you keep it, or do you have somebody you might want to gift it to?
Originally, I was going to gift it, but the person I was hoping to gift it to, her shingles are too old, so and she doesn't want to redo her roof, so I think I'd keep it.
Well, there you go. It's not a bad package to keep, my man. We'll stay on the line, and Connor will get all your information. And May 17th, the Friday, is when we will do the draw. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go. That's a massive prize pack. So huge shout out to Action Electrical, Jason Gregor, Shawn Brown with you as we go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, remember, next Wednesday, it's McHappy Day. It's a huge opportunity to raise lots of money for the Ronald McDonald House. So if you're thinking milkshake, Big Mac, whatever. And hey, if you're around the Coronation location on 111th and 149th, I might be working there in the drive-thru, slugging it away. It'd be fantastic. So maybe I'll buy you Sunday or something. We'll see. So check it out next Wednesday at all local area McDonald's. As we are joined all the way from Finland, of course, longtime NHL GM, Stanley Cup winner, ace analyst for TSN, Craig Button joins us as he is at the U18 World Championships. And Craig, I guess let's start there very quickly. You know, lots of really good young players, but man, Gavin McKenna, Craig, he's not even draft eligible because he's a late birthday until the 2026 draft. Kid had 97 points as a 16-year-old this year. I'm watching the tournament. Man, like he is really good. Like teams should start their strategy for 2026, should they not?
Well, I don't think there's any question that you're looking at a really brilliantly gifted player. I made the big bold statement during the game on Thursday in the quarterfinal match. I said if he was in this year's draft, he would go 1 or 2, and that's just telling you how good he is. Because Macklin Celebrini's a heck of a player, and McKenna is that good. He's that good. He's that special, and you know he's come in here. I mean, he's tied the record for most points in a U18 tournament, held by Macklin Celebrini and Tyson Jost. Macklin Celebrini set the record last year as a young player. Yep. McKenna comes right in here. He's going to break the record. There's no question in my mind he's going to break the record. I mean, it really is something to see. When I first, I mean, he dominated the Canada Games, Jason. He was just unbelievable, one-man show for UConn. Now, obviously, they weren't able to really, beat anybody of significance in the Canada Games, but he was brilliant. He set a points record there. Last year in the playoffs, I saw him play Medicine Hat, and I was just like, oh my Lord. Like he was 15 at the time, and he was their best player. 15, and he was Medicine Hat's best player in the playoffs. And I think that as you continue to watch him, I think there's so much more ahead of him and so much better ahead of him. He's already brilliant.
Yeah, no, he's a really good player. Now we move to the NHL playoffs, Greg, and there's 3 series left. Toronto's found a way to force it to a game 7. They won games 5 and 6 without Austin Matthews. They've really done a good job of shutting down Boston's top guys. Even their head coach is like, hey, we need more from Pasternak. What have you seen different in the success by the Maple Leafs to shut down Boston's top guys here the last 2 games?
A couple of things, and I've watched the games. You get up a little bit earlier in the morning to watch the games. It's been really awesome. My understanding is, Jason, that tonight Matthews will not play, and they are not going to dress Morgan Riley or Mitch Marner because they seem to play their best hockey without players that are really significant. All kidding aside, I'm kidding. Like, it's amazing how well they play. I'm watching game 6, and Jake McCabe, Simon Benoit, and Joel Edmondson were so good.
Yeah.
And there was nowhere for Boston's forwards to go. And you can look at Marchand, you can look at Pasternak, top players, but there was nowhere for them to go. They were stifled, stymied, suffocated at every turn. I mean, the goal that got scored was with basically no time left on the clock, but one shot on goal in the first period for the Boston Bruins. And then in the third period, watching the way that they just kept pushing Boston away from the middle of the ice, and Boston's players, all of them, just had no time to operate, no space to operate, and it was quite impressive to watch them. Obviously, Matthew Nyes has had a really good game 5 and a really good game 6, and you need players to step up. Nylander, and obviously in game 6 has been great, but I've seen that from this team, Jason, over the course of the year. I've seen them show a commitment and dig in to playing the way they have in games 5 and 6 and being successful. For me, the question is why can't they do that on a consistent basis? And why, when they have their full complement of players, can't they do it? And I don't. It might be a question that doesn't have an answer to it, and we may never find an answer to it. But they've been full marks, and I just mentioned those 3 defenders. They have been playing big and tough and hard.
Craig, what did the NHL released the finalists for the Jack Adams Award, Talkit Bonus, and Brunette? What are your thoughts on Chris Knobloch and maybe some others that maybe didn't get mentioned? Do you feel like do you have to be a coach from the beginning to the end? Is it hard to get on that list if you're a guy that's, coming in, a quarter or halfway through the season?
Oh, Shawn, I believe that over the course of the year, I think there's so many good coaching jobs, so many coaches that have done an excellent job. And certainly, we now know who the finalists are, but since November 13th, when Chris Knobloch stepped in and coached, since November 13th, in my view, there's been no better coach. To me, what the Edmonton Oilers did the minute he stepped behind this bench, I mean, every area, the success of the team, the goals for, the goals against, the power play, the penalty kill, he's been brilliant. But I think a lot of times what happens with the coach of the year is, Rick Tocchet's done a really nice job, and Rick Bowness has done a nice job, and Andrew Burnett's done a nice job. I mean, they're just a trio of what I think have been excellent coaching jobs this year. I think Paul Maurice has done an excellent job. Peter Laviolette has done an excellent job. Rod Brindamore. And you start to look at and play Peter DeBoer. Obviously, they've done some really good coaching. But I think the teams that go into the season where expectations weren't high, and a team and a coach takes that team beyond what the expectations, outside expectations, that somehow those are the gentlemen that end up becoming the coaches of the year. And so it fits, right? Vancouver, expecting what they did. I mean, they ended up with a top record. The Nashville Predators, certainly not a belief that they were going to do anything. And the Winnipeg Jets, after their off season, there wasn't a belief that, they would get 52 wins. So I think that factors in, Shawn, and it doesn't diminish the coaching jobs of anybody else. And I know for myself, Chris Knobloch, for me, would be one of the three finalists, because I think the work that he did. And, yeah, we can look at it. I mean, he still coached. What did he coach? 68, 69 games? I mean, what he did in those 68, 69 games was unbelievably great.
Mm-hmm. Looking to Dallas and Vegas. Dallas has really taken over that series. Vegas's top guys can't score outside of Jack Eichel. I think, they just look slow to me, Craig. Like they don't look as quick. And they're not the team they were last year. Last year for Vegas. Like, I won't be surprised. I picked Dallas at the start. I know it didn't look good early on, but then now Dallas is taking control. What do you make of that series? But then also the Canucks and Nashville, which might be the most uneventful first 5 games I've ever seen in a series, as far as like high danger chances both ways. Like, there's barely any shots in that series. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I'll start with the Vancouver Nationals. Vancouver is averaging just over 18 shots a game. Yeah. I mean, and it is when you use the term low event, that's exactly what it's been. The Nashville Predators play hard, they play fast, they have a real determined edge to their game, and I think that when you watch them play, I think they're doing the things that they need to do. I don't know, surprisingly. Some of the Vancouver skilled players have not been very good, and really the most obvious one has been Elias Pettersson. I mean, I made this joke the other day, and it's not really a joke. I took my computer screen where I was watching the game, and I tried to magnify it just to see if I could find Elias Pettersson anywhere in it. I mean, that's how small he's been in this series, and you see a player that could be a real difference maker, and he has been dismal, and whatever word you want to use, and he could be a difference in this series. You look at the loss of Thatcher Demko and you think, oh boy, this could really impact the Vancouver Canucks. That hasn't been a problem. Their defense has been good. Bottom line is their offense just hasn't been able to really get the Nashville Predators, uncomfortable. And, Nashville's found a way to win some games. Nashville could be in position if Vancouver didn't have that incredible comeback and where they won on the Elias Lindholm overtime goal. Nashville could be looking to close out a series here in Game 6. So Vancouver, with an opportunity to close out, I think it's going 7. I think it's coming back to Vancouver for Game 7, and we all know how those go. Road team in Game 7 has nothing to lose. So I think Nashville has every opportunity to win Game 6 and take their chances in Game 7. Jason, you and me talked about Vegas, and I said all the way through the year, I haven't seen the crispness in their game. You talked about the speed. Part of being able to play quick and fast is being able to execute quick and fast.
Yeah.
They just don't seem like the same cohesive, connected team that we saw last year en route to the Stanley Cup. And certainly I was like you. I picked Dallas. I'm going, oh boy, after the first 2 games, oh boy, have I underestimated VGK. I think Dallas has taken over that series, and certainly that's a good defensive team in Dallas. And right now, VGK has their hands full, having lost 2 games on home ice, and certainly Dallas looks like they're in a real driver's seat here too. I do think that they can close this one out in Game 6.
Craig, what are your thoughts on teams like Pittsburgh, Washington, Tampa, having, star players that are still performing, at a high level, but having, they're getting older. And if you put your GM hat on, I'm interested to see what they do with some of these players, because to me, if maybe if you don't move out your star player, but if you move out some pretty good players, would that not help, the organization, through, the fact that they can get back on track and be a contending team a little bit sooner? What are your thoughts on what maybe you think some of those teams would do in the summer here?
Shawn, I would suggest that the Caps, the Penguins, Tampa Bay to a little bit, I don't want to say a lesser extent, but I'm just going to put them on the side burner here for a second. I think they're like the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are an excellent, they won all those championships. We know the players that they have, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Steph Curry and everything. But the older players need help. And the younger players probably are not quite ready to step in and help those guys in Golden State. And I think it's the same thing in Pittsburgh and Washington. Washington kept picks, and they were able to draft players, and they got some younger players in there trying to replace the likes of Nick Backstrom. I mean, obviously, Evgeny Kuznetsov got traded at the deadline. But Alexander Ovechkin is 38 years old, and it just becomes harder and harder to be able to ask those players to be able to deliver the same way they did when you got young. I think Washington has a better younger core because they kept their picks, and where will it take them with those younger players, and how ready will they be to really push the team with Ovechkin and into a position where they could be, have their sights set on doing more in the playoffs. That's where they're at. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they traded all their picks. They don't have their pick again this year in the first round because they traded that in the Erik Karlsson trade. And I don't know who they can trade. How do you trade Karlsson, Malkin, Letang?
Yeah.
Where do you trade those guys to? Who's taking them? So I think Pittsburgh is in a worse place than Washington. Now the Tampa Bay Lightning, Shawn, when we start to elite, top-notch goaltender, elite, top-notch defenseman, the Kucherov, Point, Eagle. Stamkos had 40 goals this year. Sorelli, I think they still have a really good team. Florida's good, and I think that for Julian Brisebois, the cap's going to go up a little bit. They don't have picks, and they're pot committed to those top players who are playing really, really at a high level. I think for Julian Brisebois, it might not be so much this year. That he's got to think about retooling, or even next year. I think it's going to come sometime in the next 18 months where he's going to have to take a good hard look at his team and say, okay, what do we realistically have to do to start planning for the future? But I think that Tampa Bay has more of a chance for success than those other two teams.
Greg Button joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. One last one for you, Craig. You look at that Rangers-Kane series. It's going to get going this weekend. Who do you like and why?
I like the Carolina Hurricanes, and the why is because at even strength, they're one of the best even strength teams in the league. And the New York Rangers are not a great even strength team. Mm-hmm. And when you watch how the Carolina Hurricanes push the pace, push the tempo, I mean, they're relentless. They're at every single turn, they are applying pressure on you, and they force you to play at their tempo and pace. And when you look at their even strength record and how well they played even strength, I think that's an area where they can really exploit that advantage. I'm picking Carolina to beat the Rangers.
Awesome stuff, Craig. Enjoy Finland. Enjoy the finals at the U18s, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
We will. Thanks. Have a great day.
There you go. That's Craig Button here on Sports 1440 Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. Before we go to break, I want to welcome in. We have a guest in studio today who has joined us. We did this helping out Robin Brownlee's family, and Scotty bid on some tickets and also got to hang around. Studio was here earlier during Lowetide show, and then was watching part of this. I'm debating with Brownie about his sweater choices or not. Scotty, how is what was your takeaway from watching the show in studio today? We'll start with Lowetide show.
Oh, show was awesome. Both Lowetide and Declan do an amazing job of running it every day, and it's not as easy as it seems on the radio. Just listening and just think you guys just sit around and chat all day, but now there's a lot of hard work that goes into this system. So
and what do you do?
I do accounting.
Oh,
yeah, kind of lame, but
crunch some numbers. So are you big into like this? So are you like a capologist? Do you know what's going on, like salary cap all the time?
Not as much as I probably could, but I have gotten deeper into it, kind of figuring out like how we can fit in some extra pieces. And it boggles my mind how, I mean, like the general manager, how he's able to figure this stuff out. I don't think he gets enough credit because, I mean, it's not an easy job. And I know there's a lot of criticism for some of his moves, but it is a hard job to do. So
now Brownie was a big fan of your that vintage 1990 Oilers hat that you got going. Where that thing's like old school.
Oh, it's one. I think it just came out last year, but
really?
It's kind of like a.
Oh, it's
vintage.
So it's a throwback vintage.
Yeah, kind of that kind of. There's another one that they have. A friend of mine picked up at the Oilers game recently, and I was like, oh, I should get one of those too. But
so, where's your level of belief that the Oilers can go deep this year?
It's pretty high. I think the path is pretty clear that if they want it, they can get it, and the only team that's going to beat them is themselves. So I think they're going to hopefully go through Vancouver, and then it's going to be a toss-up between Dallas and Colorado, and they're going to right the ship there, and then hopefully Carolina, and we're going to make up for 18 years of pain and suffering us Oiler fans have gone through. So,
Scotty, I appreciate you not biting on Gregor's trying to divide us here. Scott, hey, I respect that, especially off air. He's a Sherwood Park guy. I'm a Sherwood Park guy.
I know.
Hey, much respect. So, hey, you're playing inline hockey, and so over the weekend they had a ball hockey tournament at Millennium there, and I was watching a little bit, and I couldn't get over how physical it was and the amount of chirping. And I'm assuming all men's hockey, whether it's rollerblading, ball hockey. How do you deal with that? I watched it and I was like, I could never play this.
Man, I love it. I love the chirp.
Are you the chirpy guy?
I try not to be, but sometimes I
try not to be, which is
usually it comes with if you're gonna talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I'm not the fighter type. And
so where's the line? Like how do you find that line where it's like, hey, I don't really want to fight, but I want to chirp.
Hey, Marchand finds it really well. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, I try to use it to help elevate my game.
Yeah.
And if it's not, I mean, one thing I've learned from like watching, like say Leon Draisaitl play is he doesn't allow his emotions often. Most of the time, he doesn't allow his emotions to get the better of him, and it allows his emotions to help elevate himself to a point where, I mean, he's doing what he's doing this first round, right? So that's what I've tried to, just, hey, don't let your emotions then take you out of the game, right? Don't let your opponents have an edge on you where you're not able to compete at the top of your game. I mean, you know what that
play with emotion, but don't get emotional.
Exactly, right? Kind of know where that line is to make it better, make you better and not make you worse.
Because there's not many guys like a Marchand that, guys that can play and get edgy and elevate their game. More often than not, a lot of guys, when they get too emotionally involved, it takes away.
Yeah. Corey Perry, was one of those
another
guys
guy
who can do it, right? Kane,
it's an amazing skill.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, it's a huge skill. Well, Scotty, thanks so much for helping out the Brownlee family with your donation. We really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the game. I think it was the Buffalo game, so you saw a lot of goals, so that was nice. And I know you got a little bit of a swag bag there, so that's good. Did you bring that book in? Did LT sign it for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I knew I was coming into the studio, I was like, I got to get myself. I mean, I've been wanting to get the book, but I'm not a big book guy, but I was like, if I'm going to see him, I got to get him to autograph this thing.
Did he know how to did he spell his name right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that's good. last time he signed at Lowetide instead of Allan. So that's classic.
He had both on mine.
Oh, okay, there you go. You see, it's covering his bases now. He's figured it out. Well, awesome. Thanks so much for coming in, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday. Shop 5-day deals like desks for $79, sofas starting at $4.99, and blowout TV and appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick is saving you more.
A full-service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first, so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
The postseason is always exciting for hockey fans, but for GS, it's all about construction season. For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community, but they can't do it without the best team possible. GS Construction is scouting for experienced and motivated laborers, pipe layers or pipe layers helpers, lead hands, operators, top men or women, and a water and sewer foreman. Apply today and start working for the 2024 construction season. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the word. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday, shop 5-day deals like a 5-piece queen bedroom set for $7.99 or a mattress for just $149. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
What's cracking at Cattail? Their men's league. Play 18 holes for 18 weeks on Tuesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Then complete the day and head to Out of Bounds. Recently ranked one of Canada's top 10 in fine dining restaurants. For details, visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Plaza Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Shawn Brown with you on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. And it's time for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And the big tent sale is going on now until Monday. Massive deals on sofas starting at only $4.99. You get the mattresses for only $149. There's the bonus party speaker when you spend $12.99 or more, and you can take up to 44 months to pay with no interest right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1 for you today. You were running the Oilers. Let's say you're coaching this team. What's the biggest thing you're focusing on with the extra time while we wait for the Canucks and Preds?
individual and team video clips of why they're having success individually and as a team. And it would be nothing major, but I mean, it's as small as a detail as getting in on the forecheck, having stick on puck, body position, finishing hits, staying on the defensive side, all that stuff to build more belief and to strengthen your message as a coach, the importance of the details and the structure, and why, to me, they're having this success and, is because of it. Right. So, that I guess that would be my biggest focus, is the positivity.
Yeah. I think I would focus on the fact that, are both of these teams really good defensively or anemic offensively? Because, they haven't scored a lot 5-on-5. They haven't scored very much on the power play. So I'd look to say, what are they doing that's being successful defensively, and how do we exploit it?
Question number 2. Who do you guys have? Game 7 between the Bruins and the Leafs.
I'm still rattled by Gregor just staring at me there. I got the Leafs, just because I'm a Leaf fan. I think they have the momentum. I think they're, to me, just watching the game today, this afternoon, the rerun, I felt like, as I talked about with the Oilers, the commitment to the small details, I felt like they're committed to doing it to each other. So yeah, I mean, something has to change for the Leafs eventually.
Well, I picked them in 7 at the start, so I'll stick with 7.
Question number 3. Talkit Brunette bonus named finalists for the Jack Adams Award today. Any snubs on the list, and where do you think Coach Knobloch would be in your rankings?
Well, it's hard to say snub, because when I look at those 3, I can understand why they got it nominated. Like the Jets had they're the best defensive team all year long, right? They weren't a very good team last year, and they got them to all buy in after a lot of people thought it was going to be chaos in Winnipeg. You look at Brunette coming into Nashville. Most people thought they'd be rebuilding, like they'd be one of the hottest teams down the stretch, right? So who knew that canceling the trip to the Sphere? Ballsy by the coach. It worked. You know what? Knobloch, I think Knobloch gets hurt by the philosophy that, well, if your team has good players, you can't win Coach of the Year. Like, you can't be a good coach if you have good players. It's kind of ridiculous to me, but that's kind of where it's at. I think the one guy who got overlooked was Carberry in Washington. How they got in to the postseason as a rookie head coach who, kind of got, that would be the one guy. But I love the fact that there's no East teams, just because everybody always complains that it's all, even though all the awards, I've tried to tell people for years that the West actually has won more than the East the last 7 years in voting. But I don't know if I see a snub. I could see if Knobloch was in and one of these 3 was out, I'd be like, okay, I understand. And if Carberry was in and one of these 3 was out, I would understand.
I think I agree with you, and Craig got brought up a lot of good points as far as there's a lot of good coaches that aren't on that list. But I mean, wow. I mean, what a job Chris has done. I think that, just like the great teams of, the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson, when he was coaching, it's not just because you have great players. I think it's actually even harder, right? To get good players are really, can be challenging to get them to buy in and to coach, because they're so highly skilled, they're so elite, and especially in today's game where they make so much money and they have such an influence. And the fact that Chris has come here when, I think Connor McDavid, I seen a tweet there when, they were pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Right. And he came in and the house was on fire. And even the way he was introduced, there was nothing smooth about it. He comes in by himself. He's given a coach, all these guys, that he doesn't have a relationship with. And the fact that I just can't get over the job that he's done. And it didn't start off overly smooth and great. And one of the amazing things for me that I see in him is his demeanor from that time to this time. He seems like a very calming influence to, in his approach. And I'm sure that he's brought a ton of confidence, along with, Paul Coffey. But to me, he's brought a lot of stability, a lot of confidence and reassurance. And, it could not be easy coming into that situation. And he's done an amazing job with it. And he's pushed a lot of buttons. He's put guys in situations, and they've responded. He's moved guys in and out. He's moved guys up and down the lineup. To me, he just seems like he's pushing all the right buttons right now and has quickly found, the temperature and the understanding of what his team needs to do to be successful.
Question number 4. Since we had Ken Lacusta on the show talking boxing, if you could create an all-time boxing matchup, any boxers in history, who would you have go head-to-head?
Well, it's a no-brainer for me. It has to be Tyson and Ali, right? I mean, those are the two most dynamic, most, skilled, most powerful. Feared Tyson with the fear and the way that guy's. I mean, I still love watching videos of him and still seeing, the fact that he's fighting now. What is he? And he's fighting Jake Paul. I know it's not great. It's not great, but are you tuning in? I'm tuning in.
Nah, I won't tune in. But
why?
No.
It's not.
I can't watch Jake Paul. I just can't do it. It's a clown show. But
it is.
If Mike Tyson actually fights like he's capable of, even at 50, he'd blow him out of the water.
You think so?
No, I don't. Yes, Jake Paul hasn't fought anybody. He's not a real legit boxer, man. That's like saying, hey, you know what? We're going to put Barber, that skills guy, up against Connor McDavid in a one-on-one, and I think it would be close. No, it wouldn't. This guy's not a real boxer against
he's
real.
He's not a real boxer, but he's young and he's
like
you.
Matter.
I don't
Mike
think Tyson cannot beat him.
Why can't he?
You
don't lose, man. It's old man strength. You don't lose what he had at his heyday. Like, come on, no. If he connects one good punch, it should be over.
Really?
But he used to KO guys, huge, really good boxers who knew how to box, and he would KO them in like 10 seconds. So yeah.
Well, the fact that I'm tuning in. I don't, he's that guy for me. Him and Tiger Woods, as long as they're playing.
Hey, buddy, Silver Spoon loves the drama. I get it. Silver Spoon loves the drama. I would actually, I'll be different. I'm going to say Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, final question for you guys. Hypothetical question. Of course, on Fridays, if you could use only 3 condiments for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Can I go? Well, I'll tell you right now. So the Subway that I go to, they were out of mustard for a while. And I'm like, what? Like, I just stopped going because I'm like, I can't have my sub without mustard on it. They didn't have mustard. So I'm like, I can't substitute. So mustard for sure. Plus, it's probably the healthiest condiment out there. So I will take mustard. I will have Frank's hot sauce because it can go on a lot of things, and ketchup.
Okay, mustard over for health, hummus?
I can't really. The chickpeas don't really agree with me anymore. They're on my list. It sucks. I love hummus. Like, I love it. But is hummus, is that a real condiment?
I don't
know if it's a condiment. It doesn't come in a squeezable. Nah, I don't think hummus.
Well, because you can put it in a squeezable.
Do you think hummus is a condiment?
No, I'm going to call that a dip or a spread.
Thank you. It's a spread.
It's different.
It's not a condiment. So
all right.
Doesn't count.
Have you tried the ranch since we talked about it last week? Are you who's a ranch?
I love ranch, but I haven't tried it. But what was it? Ranch on what again?
Ranch on everything,
Oh,
but
yeah,
pasta, spaghetti, anything.
no.
You got it.
So ranch is
give it
your
a
number
try.
one. What's your
You're
2 and
doing a
3?
disservice. I'll go ranch and a ranch hot sauce, and I don't know. I guess it's a spread, but I was going to go hummus.
No, can't go hummus.
What do I go with? I can't go mustard because you went with it.
Well, you could, but mayo.
What about relish?
Oh, I like relish on like
Okay.
hot dog relish.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good stuff. But you really don't use it on anything else. But and I don't really eat hot dogs. But when I do, God, like
You're not like a
summertime-
dirty dog.
Like when no, I love it. But it's not like I make hot dogs at home anymore. But like I'll have a hot dog at the media meal in Edmonton every now and then, right? You have the meat, and then I'm like, man, I'm kind of still hungry. And then they've got the McDonald's. Like I always question how long it's been rolling, but I'll still eat it.
Yeah.
So no, and then relish is fantastic.
Sometimes a dirty dog is.
One of my baseball, like if I go to the Riverhawks games, 100% I'm having a dog.
Yeah, it kind of goes with baseball.
Oh, without question. Yeah. Like every baseball stadium I've ever gone to, I always have the hot dog.
I gotta get to one of those games. I haven't been to.
What?
No, I haven't been down there. I just
you gotta go.
Yeah, this summer I gotta get down to especially even the trails. Right, I love riding my mountain bike, but there's just the trails and everything down
Our
there.
whole trail system there is unreal.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Well, Brownie, have yourself a good weekend. So you're taking Toronto in 7. Who wins Vancouver Nashville series?
we gotta go with the Canadian team. I'll go with Vancouver.
And Dallas, Vegas.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
Dallas. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
Yep. Scotty, I'll see you around Millennium. Thanks for sticking strong.
Get to Connor. Oh, my God. Connor Halley here in a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Say, you know what? No strawberry jam because that's not a condiment brownie. But strawberries right now are the thing to do at Booster Juice. They have the strawberries and cream booster ball, the strawberry blush smoothie, and the strawberry staring teaser right now only at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit bieeng.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
The Ben Maller Show rolls out weeknights at midnight here on Sports 1440. I've been told I have one of the most compelling overnight sports talk shows, but I question that decision. I will let you be the judge. Check it out, midnight to 4 here on Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Heavy hauling in the worst of climates can be dreadful. Take the stress off the job with AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. They redefine heavy hauling with premium heavy haul trailers designed, manufactured, and battle tested in the harshest of conditions. And if your heavy haul trailer has issues, their full service and frame inspections will tell you exactly what's wrong and why. They take the guessing out of repair work with quality engineered frame repairs that get you back working quick. Discover the difference at AccuSteel.ca.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Andy Akel at Weird Pearson Akel & Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance, tax strategies, and yes, investments. Talk to him today and see the difference a real financial plan makes. Weird Pearson Akel & Associates. Call 780-988-4119 or visit weirdadvisoryteam.com.
It's officially spring, but when the snow melts, the grass will grow. Tame your yard with the help from the Lawnmower Hospital. Live on an acreage? Save up to $2,000 and get 0% financing for 36 months on select Toro zero-turn tractors, OAC. For smaller jobs, go for the Toro Super Recycle. With personal pace and electric start, make spring yard care a breeze with Toro and the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Shift into spring with Murray's Truck Parts Locators. He has the parts knowledge like no other. Murray knows where to find what you need and get them fast with competitive pricing. That's Murray's promise. For truck inspections, hunter wheel alignments, and repairs that make your engine purr, call Murray at 780-678-2128. Murray's Truck Parts Locators for your truck parts and repairs. Located just minutes west of Camrose in Irvik Subdivision.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Positive Friday continues on. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Gregor Show is always presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. It's a Friday night, baby. Boys and girls, you know what that means. Lotto Max, $40 million up for grabs tonight. Get your tickets, play in the games, PlayAlberta.ca. Also, if you're there, use the promo code Gregor50 and get a free $50 wager. Just need a $5 deposit. PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to spec in a sec. We are up now to $850 on our golf package today, courtesy of Fitted Golf. This is they are new to town, and they are a golf science company. Man, they have like a design engineer, shaft engineer, a professor of biomechanics. It's a 2-hour fitting. They take you through all the gamuts to ensure that you're going to get the right club, and then you can watch your own club be built. They put it all together. They have numerous, over 1,000 configurations to choose from for your driver, your head, shaft, everything. So currently it's up to $850 right now. Retail value in this is always not always, but it's about $1,000. So keep that in mind if you want to get in on it. Pretty good deal. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. So now, and this is just for a driver, not a whole set of clubs. A whole set of clubs is going to cost you a little bit more than that. So it's just, some of you wonder, no, it's for the driver itself. Nowadays, you go try to pick up a good driver, but this one's the fitting and the driver for you. So 833-401-1440. Let's get to the spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction. They just want to say a positive Friday to everybody from GS. Sending good vibes. Be safe. Drive slow through all construction zones from GS Construction. As Mark Spector joins us. And Spec, the Oilers kind of in a holding pattern. Players don't know who they're playing, so they're just kind of trying to focus on themselves. A quick, short-spirited little practice today. No Kane, no Henrique, but they're just, they're nicked up. Henrique looked like he injured himself in that game against LA in Game 5. To me, it looks like it was lower body, but doesn't sound like it's anything overly serious. Although wouldn't commit to playing, but he said they would be skating before their next game. Kane, I assume, will play, but Henrique, who knows? Maybe he'll miss a game. We'll see. But what do you make of these next few days for the Oilers, and do you see a matchup being better for them?
I'm watching Vancouver and Nashville right now, and I can't help but think that Vancouver's the better team. They did win the Pacific this year, right? And I watched them play a lot, and there was a really good Canucks team there this year. But, I was talking to a beat guy out there, Ian McIntyre, last night, and he said, yeah, they haven't really been that good team for the last month and a bit of the regular season and in the series. So, listen, no one who's watched Edmonton play Nashville as much as we all have is going to fear Nashville a whole bunch. They're good, but Edmonton owns them. I got to think Nashville's a better matchup, but watching the way the Canucks are playing right now, Jay, they're not striking any fear into my heart. What about you?
No, neither team right now does, honestly.
Right.
They're not generating a ton of offense, and, they don't have great special teams. So, it's a very low event series. Now, I don't think that either team or Edmonton would want to play that much of a low event series. I could be wrong. We'll see. Like the Toronto-Boston series has all of a sudden really gotten low scoring. Edmonton and LA for the most part was, 7 goals a game outside of game 4, right? It's kind of what it was. So, yeah, I don't think a team can expect, because unless you're just going to take no penalties, which is really hard to do, the Oilers power play is good. And I don't see a team, that doesn't mean they'll be 45%, but man, they've been basically a 30%, 29% power play for 4 years, right? So to me, at bare minimum, that's what they're going to be in the playoffs. So
yeah, no team with Edmonton's top 6 is going to be a low event team every night.
No.
Right? They don't want to be a low event team, and the odd night they get held to being a low event team, and in the one low event game they still won it, which was a real dagger to the Kings. But I'm with you, man. Like the Oilers, they don't want low event hockey. I don't want low event hockey. Who the hell wants to pay what you got to pay to watch a hockey game these days and not see any events? I like events. Let's have more events.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you, man. Less events is not good in a situation like this. None whatsoever. And so, yeah, I think, I don't think now, obviously I understand the rest and the travel and everything. And so, if Nashville wins tonight, that's probably better for Edmonton because there'll be a game 7 Sunday, and then whoever wins, it'll be game 1 on Tuesday. Now, last year, we saw Florida come back, win 3 in a row, and everyone's like, oh, geez, they're going to be tired. And then they went into Toronto, won game 1 and 2. So just because you're playing a team that just won a 7 game doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be tired. But I look for Edmonton, like when they get a little bit of rest, we've seen the difference in their team. And I think that'll be a big benefit regardless of who they play.
Yeah, listen, we can all find the outlier of the Florida who won a couple games. Yes, they did. Big picture, everybody in the game would agree that the rest is better than playing. It's just better. We said this the other day. Sure, the first period and a half, the team that's been playing steadily every second night probably has an advantage. But that will quickly flip in a series when the important games comes. In that, let's say this one goes 7, Nashville, Vancouver. When we get into game 3, 4, and 5 in the next round, the Oilers will be the team that's got the advantage because they've been sitting around having a nice long rest and getting healthy, practicing as well, Jay. Right? No one gets to practice anymore.
It's true.
Coach can't work on anything because there's just no time. The Oilers are going to get a couple of real practices here, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So they'll skate tomorrow. We'll see if they skate on. I could see them. You know what? Maybe they get another day off on Sunday. We'll find out. They probably don't want to skate too much, but I guess if it's short, we'll see what happens. The Maple Leafs spec, they've really shut down the Boston Bruins. All of a sudden, the Bruins coach was mad at his team after game 5. Now he's saying, hey, Pasternak's got to be better after game 6. The Maple Leafs have limited him to really 1 goal. I know they scored with 1 second left. The game was over. They scored with 1 second left last night. And, the Maple Leafs have really simplified their game without Austin Matthews.
Yeah, give them credit. If the Oilers did this without McDavid, there wouldn't be enough words in the dictionary for all the praise we'd be heaping on them. So, that's their best guy. And they have won a couple games without him. And good for the Leafs. If this is how they have to play to win, then who cares how you're playing as long as you're winning? They got Boston nervous. Man, that Bruins team, it's kind of a weird spring, eh, Jason?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're spec. It's a weird spring, all right. Jeez, those old Rogers bills not really working very well. So see what happens. Jeez. What kind of dump phone provider is that? Oh, yeah. Have some fun with that one for sure. But you know what? I'm intrigued to see what happens tonight. Like Nashville and Vancouver, I don't know why. I think Nashville's winning tonight. They're going 7 games. Dallas and Vegas. Vegas honestly had, like, this series could be over. Probably should be over if Jake Ottinger wouldn't have had a bad first period in game one. Because Dallas has really controlled the last 3 games. And I think they're the better team. Vegas, I get that they won the cup last year, but it's why I said at the start of the playoffs, Edmonton, LA, everyone's like, oh, they got lucky not playing Vegas. Really? I don't think Vegas is that good. And they're showing it now. So Spec is back with us. And Spec, feel free to get a Rogers phone that works. But anyway.
I don't know. My phone started ringing. I'm like, who can be calling me? I'm talking to Jason.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Tell your wife to stop calling you when they're on the show. But what do you make of the Dallas Vegas series, right? Like, Vegas is basically what we thought they were for the last 4 months, and now it's coming to fruition.
Well, yes. When they, let's face it, man, when they walked into Dallas and won the first 2, we all thought, oh my goodness, like, are they flipping that switch again? How can they keep doing this? But it's receded here now a little bit, right? And we're seeing them lose some cool. Like, we saw Pietrangelo lose his cool on Draisaitl's arm last year. And frankly, it didn't really cost Vegas. In fact, some people in Vegas would tell you the series kind of turned around that a little bit. I'm not so sure, but whatever. But he lost his cool when he punched Sagan in the face. And they scored a big goal, Dallas. And his coach didn't like it. Cassidy came out and said after the game, we've got to keep our cool better. I heard Martinez asked about it, and he kind of was like, Petro's our leader, but, So let's see. Let's see. We all look at Vegas one way. They're in their dressing room maybe looking at themselves another way. If they haven't been playing well, Jason, they know they haven't been playing well. Be interested to see what kind of game they bring here, because that is the Cup champion. I don't know what they got left. Do you?
No, they don't have anything left. I think they're old. I think they're beat up. I think they got too many guys that are injured, and then that's slowing them down. And Dallas is just a better team, right? And I think Dallas has showed that for a long time. And I think that Vegas could win tonight, but I don't see Vegas coming back and winning 2 straight in this series. Yeah. The other one is we do have the Hurricanes and the Rangers getting going. And you know what? Both of those teams kind of breezed through the first round. I expect this round to be a lot better, but I will say the Rangers 5-on-5 all season long wasn't very good. They're like +2 5-on-5. And historically, that's not a great sign. I'm taking Carolina. What about you?
I'm always shaky on Anderson in net. I'm always, and the other thing for me in Carolina, Jay, it reminds me of that 8-year period where we picked San Jose to win a cup every year, and they never did it.
Ray Ferraro and myself, that was like our annual tradition without even knowing. God.
I know. I fell into that thing too, man. I got suckered in. And that's, that Carolina team's been good for a while here, and they always find a way to lose. What have they've been to at least 2 conference finals here in recent years.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a hard time putting my money on a team that breaks your heart every year. Are they that much better this year, Jay, than they've been? Like, does Gensel put them over the top? Does Anderson get hurt like he always does, and now you don't have a goalie? Man, I don't know. I'm probably picking the Rangers just because I'm sick of getting sucked in by the Hurricane.
All right. Well, Spec, have a good weekend. Enjoy the games. We got at least one Game 7. Selfishly, hopefully we get a second. So we got to have Game 7 Saturday, Game 7 Sunday, and then also Game 1 of the second round. So we'll get into all that. Should be a fun weekend, and we'll for sure know by Sunday night who the Oilers are playing. We might even know as late as early as tonight. So we'll see what happens.
May know. Yeah, we might know in 3 hours. I'm just sitting on the deck watching this game, and when I hang the phone up, Jay, I'm going to turn the sound up and listen to it.
All right. Well, enjoy that. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
There you go. That's Mark Spector and the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. The Lowdown host Allan Mitchell will join us next here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community. But they couldn't have done it without building their employees from the ground up. Many of GS Construction's employees started without any industry experience at all, But because of such programs such as GS's Next Person Up, they've gone on to become valued members of the team. If you want to join the team as a laborer, pipe layer, or pipe layer's helper, lead hand, operator, top man, or woman, or water and sewer foreman, visit gsconstruction.ca. Got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
This is Jonas Knox from Fox Sports before Kevin carry us each morning. Check out our show, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. It's Brady Quinn, LeVar Arrington, and me right here on Sports 1440.
The Charm Offensive with Jim Jeffries.
Every generation before you has also been the most progressive generation.
And Jimmy Carr.
I don't know how to explain this to you. I'm not that small. I'm just far away.
One night, two comedy icons. September 8th, Rogers Place. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.ca. The Charm Offensive with Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr. Produced by Outback Presents.
Hey Edmonton, ready to power up your projects with unbeatable strength and efficiency? Step into Edmonton Kubota, where our massive inventory meets all your needs. From rugged tractors and loaders to nimble mowers and utility vehicles, we've got the machines that work as hard as you do. And guess what? This month, we're rolling out exclusive deals that'll make your heart race faster than our engines. Drive down to Edmonton Kubota or visit EdmontonKubota.com to discover how we can boost your efficiency, productivity, and fun. Edmonton Kubota, powering your passion with every turn of the key.
Wednesday, May 8th is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yup.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's for McHappy Day on Wednesday, May 8th. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
There's nothing worse. Family's all excited to hit the highway and suddenly you remember, I forgot to replace that broken taillight. No worries. We've got you covered here at Vision RV. Hi, it's Larry Ricci reminding you that we have the parts and accessories you need in stock always. And if we don't have it, we'll get it for you ASAP. From taillights to RV toilet paper.
Oh no, I forgot that too.
It's all here. Don't wait till the last minute. See us today at Vision RV, just south of the Yellowhead on Highway 60.
Shift into spring with Murray's Truck Parts Locators. He has the parts knowledge like no other. Murray knows where to find what you need and get them fast with competitive pricing. That's Murray's promise. For truck inspections, hunter wheel alignments, and repairs that make your engine purr, call Murray at 780-678-2128. Murray's Truck Parts Locators for your truck parts and repairs. Located just minutes west of Camrose in Irvik Subdivision.
.530, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Welcome back. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca and coming to you live in the E-Well studio. When you are thinking you need something electrical, well, they got it all. The one-stop shop for everything electrical, and they can even help you spice up your projects as well at EWEL.ca. Now, before we get to Lowetide, guess what? Positive Friday. We're going to play a little trivia via the text line, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. And up for grabs is going to be, we're going to actually have two pairs. So the first two people that we'll do a draw for two people who get the correct answer. And you're going to be getting a pair of seats to see Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr in Edmonton on September 8th at Rogers Place. Ooh, courtesy of Outback Presents, man. That is going to be a heck of a show. If you like good comedy, two funny guys, real funny guys. So, in honor of two, I got a trivia question where you need two answers. I need both answers. So, excluding the Hall of Famers, who you know who they are, Curry, Gretzky, Messier, Anderson, okay, excluding them. Can you name the two players who have scored 14 or more goals in a playoff year for the Edmonton Oilers organization? 14 or more goals in a playoff year, excluding those. So there's two guys. Can you name them? Name them, include your name on the text, and you could win. 833-401-1440. As we welcome in to the program, the host of The Lowdown with Lowetide, Allan Mitchell, joins us. Al, how you doing?
I'm good. I don't know the answer. Don't ask me.
Really? You don't know it? Come on, you wrote a book about it.
Two players, like was there one of them in the 80s and one of them in the 10s?
No, in the playoffs, buddy. The Oilers didn't make the playoffs in the 10s. Well, I guess that's not true. They did it once in 17.
Yeah.
So,
and I honestly, I was like, oh, I'll get this. And then you asked it and I'm like, oh, but I mean, that's a tough question. I know somebody will get it, but it's not in my book, Jason.
Okay. Well, 833-401 people text in the two players who you think, not who you think, who scored 14 goals in a playoff year, not the Hall of Famer. So not Gretzky, not Messier, Anderson, Curry. They all did it, but I'm not including them. It's two other guys. One of them should be very obvious to you all. One should be very obvious. Anyway, Al, the Oilers, do you have an obvious who you would like to see them play?
Well, I think that I would like to see Vancouver only because the Canucks played so well against the Oilers early on, and then there was a big build up to the last game, and then it was not quite what it was going to be because of injury. But I've always felt they should beat everybody. So you beat Vancouver, then you beat Vegas or Dallas, then you go in and this is the year to like in the Godfather, you make you make your peace with all the families. So I know people will say Nashville, but I'd like to see Vancouver because I think it would be more exciting.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. Right. I want a rivalry that's closer, and I think plus I think Oilers fans shouldn't be worried because I think they'd beat Vancouver. I think they'd beat Nashville too, but I think it just spurs on the rivalry, right? It makes it a little bit better for the regular seasons in the years to come. So selfishly, from a reporting standpoint, that's why I'd want it to be Vancouver.
Yeah, and I think for the same reason, although I think Dallas is like a murderer's row too, but I think if you had the semifinal against Vegas and then you beat them, say, right, and now you're like, oh my God, what can't they do? And then you go beat Toronto, and the nation wouldn't survive, but the Oilers would win the Stanley Cup.
Well, hey, Dallas or Colorado, because I don't see Vegas getting by Dallas, but that'll be a tough series. But hey, once you get to the quarterfinals, rarely is there an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination. And the Oilers, we'll see. They didn't have Henrique and Kane on the ice today. Kane, we know, was banged up before, but he'll be fine. Henrique, he left that game last time and didn't look overly comfortable. So maybe he's not ready, but the coach said he expects them both on the ice before game one. So that's obviously a good sign. That's the advantage of finishing off LA in 5. Is that now they get some rest, right? And guys can truly rest. If you're banged up, you can do nothing for 3 or 4 days. You get all the best world-class treatment that they have. Could make a huge difference.
Yeah, and this is why beating LA the way they did and getting, I think you said earlier, maybe Sunday, but probably Tuesday. I think that's a nice, it's not too long, I don't think, because they've got guys on the mend, but you can ideally, like if they played Sunday against Vancouver, I don't know that the Canucks would have enough rest time. But Tuesday, you get a little more time for yourself, and maybe that would, as you say, Kane and Henrique, maybe they need that time.
Yeah, for sure. Allan Mitchell joined us here on Sports 1440. Al, it's you know what? The first round kind of looked like it was a little bit meh, but now we got a game 7, Toronto and Boston, and we have some potential game 7s tonight. And you know that Toronto series, there's a lot of intrigue, man. You've got the history of the two teams. Toronto's never beat them in a series since 1959. They've lost 5 consecutive 7-game series as a franchise. Boston is on the verge of back-to-back blowing 3-1 series leads where they would lose game 5 and 7 on home ice. Like, man, there is a lot of storylines heading into that tomorrow night.
It's true. And knowing these two teams, and then having Matthews out, and then you go to your other goalie and you win 2, like the intrigue here is massive. And you know, I do wonder, like I wondered at the beginning of this series, and especially when Boston was up, I thought, man, you know, you might see a coaching change in Toronto. Now, I mean, if they were to win in 7, then I think that's off the table. But, you know, Toronto's a funny team where they I was a big fan of Kyle Dubas and the analytics, and they after he left, they toughened up a little bit. They are I think a less easy team to play against. And I don't know if that's the difference or not. I mean, we have to remember Boston lost 2 fantastic centers, veteran centers, and that really did change the equation. But if you're Toronto, and especially if you're Toronto's management, man, this is manna from heaven, because if they'd gone out quickly, I do wonder if there might have been some changes in the capital of the universe.
Yeah, you never know. Definitely could be odd. If, like, let's say Boston loses. Like, we're in a time now where you got to fire the head coach. Like, to me, that would be crazy. But like, do you think it's plausible? Like, if Toronto loses, I could see why their coach has been there 5 years. They really haven't got past anybody, so maybe. But like, if Boston loses, do you think they would actually make a significant change like that?
I don't. What I do think is they go into the offseason and really aggressively pursue a center. I like, you know, Marchand and Pasternak are fantastic players, but I think up the spine, up the middle, the defense is good, but you know, there's some injuries there, and they are getting a little bit older. Not that they're, you know, ancient or anything. So I think Swayman's set in net. McAvoy and others are solid defensemen, but you might see a move for a significant center, and then maybe some help on the blue line. Boston always has some marquee defensemen, and they do now. But I sometimes wonder if maybe they need to bring one more in. And you know, they have a lot of talent, but they also have a lot of age in some areas of the roster, and it might be time to turn over some of that.
Well, the one thing I look at for Boston is I really felt their lack of, like, losing those 2 centers. It's been very noticeable. Like Charlie Coyle, God love Charlie Coyle, but they're asking him to do what Patrice Bergeron did, and he can't do it. Like, just I don't know if you read my article today about Leon Draisaitl, but you look at how many defensive zone faceoffs Charlie Coyle's taken, but he's not even 50% in the faceoff circle, right? Like, it's
I did read it, and you're absolutely right. Here's the thing about Draisaitl. You know, he's not even pushed on these. Like, it's not. Kopitar is a great face-off guy, and he sawed it off.
Yeah.
Like, against normal, you know, mortal humans, Leon is just money. And Coyle, like, honestly, he played, I think, as well as he possibly could. It's just that the talent gap between Bergeron, Krejci, and you know, they're asking him to do something. He's moved up two lines, basically. That's a tough ask.
Oh, it's a massive ask. And yeah, I want to get your thoughts on Draisaitl. You know, I went deep dive into the numbers, and you know, he is unlike any other superstar. Like, you know, Connor McDavid might be better, but Draisaitl's different. And McDavid and Matthews and McKinnon and Kucherov, all elite superstars, are all big point getters, but they don't have the same responsibilities that Draisaitl. They don't take a lot of defensive zone faceoffs. They don't take a lot of faceoffs, right? Like, he, you know, then you throw in the goal scoring and the assist package that, you know, McDavid's the only other one who's kind of close. Matthews, on a real goal scorer, doesn't have the passing. Kucherov's a real good passer, doesn't have the goal scoring, right? McKinnon historically hasn't had the goal scoring he did last year for 1 year. But like, he's 42 percentile in the faceoffs is Nathan McKinnon. Like, Leon Draisaitl, what he's called upon, I think Knobloch was onto something when he says, I think Leon Draisaitl gets underestimated in how good he is defensively.
Yeah, and he's, you know, the thing about Draisaitl, this happens every year. Every damn playoff, people go, "Oh my God, I forgot about Draisaitl," because we've been staring at McDavid all year. But he's a big man, and he's fierce, and he is capable, and he's got a mean streak. And in the playoffs, you get away with more, and so he can dominate down low. He wears out defensemen, and he can control the puck. There's a lot about Leon Draisaitl that I think shows up, or at least it's always there, but somehow it shows up or is more noticeable in the postseason. And we do this every year. Every year in the playoffs, we go, "My God, Leon Draisaitl, what a beast!" And he is. It's just that it becomes more noticeable in the postseason because every segment of the game is important, and he has a wide range. He's got a 200-foot game for sure.
Al, the uneventfulness continues. Vancouver has 2 shots in the first 16 minutes tonight. Nashville has 5. Like, this is painful. Like, this should be used as an example of how not to play hockey. Honestly, it's awful to watch.
Well, Jacques Lemaire games were more exciting than the games I've seen.
You know what, Al? You're actually probably accurate on that. Like, God, this is just terrible. Like, end it now, for goodness sakes. But at the rate they're going, man, the shots are going to be 17-16. Someone's going to win 1-0. And Oilers fans are like, yeah, but let it be Nashville, just so they have to play again on Sunday, and then Edmonton will take on either team on Tuesday.
Yeah, and Vancouver, they need to put the hammer down here. This is ridiculous. You're playing with dynamite here. You have to go back and play another game. Come on, get it done.
Yeah. Al, have a great weekend.
All right, be good.
There you go. That's Allan Mitchell, aka the Lowdown with Lowetide. Now, the correct Cons, did you get our 2 winners?
Letting a little more trickle in here, but
okay. Well, we'll pick them during the commercial break.
Yeah.
We'll come back after the break. 2 of you have won tickets to see Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr, courtesy of Outback Presents, on September 8th at Roger. Now, tickets went on sale today, so hey, trust me, you don't want to miss out. This show will sell out very fast. Jim and Jimmy, Jeffries and Carr, September 8th here in Edmonton. The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday. Shop 5-day deals like desks for $79, sofas starting at $4.99, and blowout TV and appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick is saving you more.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers have been providing highway and off-road custom trailers for over 25 years, bringing you innovative solutions for unconventional problems. They're your industry leader in engineered heavy haul trailer frame repairs, retrofits, rebuilds, and custom trailer fabrication. When you need to haul the largest machinery on the planet, they can do it with a premium engineered heavy haul trailer made right here in Alberta. They're 100% family owned, treating you like part of the family. Trust the experts at AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. Learn more at accusteel.ca.
The Bricks tent sale is here with up to 60% off clearance items. Now until Monday, shop 5-day deals like a 5-piece queen bedroom set for $7.99 or a mattress for just $149. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Weed Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here. We all know how unpredictable Edmonton weather is. Extended falls to late winters, and who knows what spring and summer will bring. Regardless of the outdoors, your indoors will be comfortable with Weiss Johnson and Goodman. Whether it's a new Goodman air conditioner, heat pump, or furnace, using our expertise, we'll give you the best quote on Goodman products with no misleading information or offers. Just what's best for your family. Visit wjcools.com today.
It's officially spring. Whether you're a seasoned landscaper or starting a new lawn care company, the Lawnmower Hospital can help with everything you'll need. From aerators and power rakes to walk lawnmowers, lawn edgers, and zero-turn tractors. Financing is available. Make spring yard care a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital. LawnmowerHosp.com.
We're more than mowers, the Lawnmower Hospital.
At Cross Mitsubishi, the choice is yours. But no matter what you choose, the savings are huge. Get into a 2024 Mitsubishi RVR and Cross will match your cash down up to $2,500 with a $500 trade-in rebate and 0% financing. Plus, you won't make any payments for 90 days. Or choose the all-new Outlander PHEV starting at $39,995. Make your choice at Cross Mitsubishi, 34th Avenue and 96th Street, or cross with a K, Mitsubishi.ca.
A few years ago, I was doing okay, but the rising cost of living has made my credit card bills go through the roof, and I don't know how to handle it anymore.
Times are tough. The cost of living is causing many to fall into debt through no fault of their own. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed. There are options that can help you get back on your feet. My name is Parveen Middleton, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I can help you find a solution to become debt-free. Visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Welcome back. Positive Friday. Hey, somebody's going to end Positive Friday on a very positive note. Connor had many of you got the correct answer. Some of you didn't. Unfortunately, if you didn't, you weren't in. Fernando Pisani. I thought that was the easy one. Of course, he scored 14 goals in 2006 as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And the other gentleman who was not one of the Hall of Famers, who had some pretty good years with the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. You'll be watching him tomorrow night, in fact. Craig Simpson. 16 goals for the Oilers in their cup-winning 1990 season. 16 goals, 31 points for Craig Simpson that year. So, nice. So, Simpson and Pisani. Cons, who are our winners that are going to get tickets to see Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr in Edmonton on September 8th?
The lucky winners today, we've got Vinny and Brandon going.
Vinny and Brandon. All right. Well, congratulations, Vinny and Brandon. Cons will get all of your information, and we'll be sending you the tickets from actually, Outback Presents will be sending you the tickets sometime in the near future. Not right away, so don't worry, but trust me, you'll be on the list, and you will be winners. The first period has come to an end. And it was an explosion of shots, Connor Halley. 6-5 for in favor of Nashville. God,
These are the playoffs we want. These are what we deserve.
Like, come on. I love that Lowetide's line. Jacques Lemaire coach teams have been more entertaining. And it's true. Like I was trying to watch that game. I'm like, honestly, like it's hard sometimes to watch a game when you're doing the show, but I'm like, I missed nothing. There was nothing happening. During a commercial break, I was like, I might have to fall asleep here. Give me a Red Bull. Interject some excitement in my veins because that's been brutal. Oh, by the way, we got about 5 minutes left. We're up to $8.50 in our auction item today. This is a sick package, by the way. Unbelievable. They're new in town. And if you like golf and you want to get the proper fitting from Fitted Golf, you are going to get a driver fitted for you. It's a 2-hour fitting. They'll come in. They'll do everything for you. And they have over 1,000 configurations for, trust me, whatever it is, depending on the stiffness of your shaft, your head, the loft, everything. And they make it. This is not like it's a club they take and they adjust it. Okay, let's take the screws and adjust the head. No. They build this strictly for you. So if you're a big golfer, this is a steal of a deal right now at $8.50. It's got a few minutes in if you want to text in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, or you can call Connor at 833-401-1440. Oilers, as we keep getting people asking, we don't know when they're going to play, but odds are it's going to be on Tuesday, whether it's in Vancouver or in Edmonton. Now, if Vancouver does win tonight, I've been told there's a slight chance, maybe, that they would start Sunday. I still think that's, I'm going to guess maybe unlikely, but we'll see. It's like if Dallas loses tonight, then I think there's no chance that they will do it. But we'll find out. Game 7 tomorrow night. We have game 1 for the Rangers and the Hurricanes on Sunday. We know that Florida game 1 is going to be Monday against the Leafs or the Bruins. And we'll figure out. Oilers, Canucks, Oilers, Predators at the latest will be on Tuesday, and probably the most likely day. So have yourselves a great evening, everyone. Enjoy it. Be safe. Please do not drink and drive. Don't be inebriated. Get home safe. Let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. You can get up to $5,300 cash purchase credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks at your Alberta GMC dealers. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
20 minutes down in Nashville as the Preds and Canucks scoreless after 20 minutes. Vancouver leading that series 3-2. Later tonight, the Stars in Vegas looking to wrap up that series. They're up 3-2. Puck drop around 8:20 tonight in the association. One game underway. Cleveland trailing Orlando 34-32 with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Cavaliers lead that series 3-2. Later tonight, the Clippers taking on the Mavericks. Tip-off 7:30. Dallas with a chance to wrap that one up. Kawhi Leonard will not play for Los Angeles. Major League Baseball, Jays lead the Nationals 3-1 midway through the fourth. We'll have Jays baseball all weekend. Tomorrow, 2:05, and Sunday, 11:35, as they take out the Nationals once again. Elsewhere, you got the Pirates and Rockies scoreless. Giants lead the Phillies 2-0. Tigers, Yankees, Guardians, Angels, Rangers, Royals all scoreless as well. Later tonight, Twins host the Red Sox, Mariners in Houston. White Sox up against the Cards, and the Braves take on the Dodgers. Earlier today, Brewers knocked off the Cubbies 3-1. In the WHL, Saskatoon taking on Moose Jaw, Game 5 of their best-of-7 series. Currently tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drop in about 10 minutes' time out in Saskatoon. And Caitlin Clark making her WNBA preseason debut as the Fever take on the Wings. Tip-off in about 10 minutes. You also got the Lynx battling the Sky. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, it's Turn Sports. We've got Fox Sports Radio at 9 o'clock. Then tomorrow morning, it's the Saturday Sports Setup at 9 a.m. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a